as the powerful GM you are.
There we go. And we are live.
Oh my god!
Who's Hola.
Oh,
I would first like to apologize to everybody who might be coming in. I said we were going to start at 8, and
it's almost 8:30.
we had to set up a few things beforehand, and it took me longer than I thought it was gonna. Mainly
technical difficulties.
Yeah, mainly if you are looking at our screen, you can see that we have all nice little cameras, and I was trying to get them all angled right, and it's very finicky. So, yeah. But we're live.
And so, anyway, so, hello and welcome to the first spring episode, session, all the things, so many firsts, of Thanks for Playing. We are a dungeon of degenerates, I guess, and we're gonna be going through a Pathfinder adventure path known as Kingmaker, with many, many things that I have done to it. We will see if they are good or not. I think they're fantastic. And try to get this group to survive through it. And maybe have some fun and recruit some people along the way. You know, the real loot is the friends you make along the way, which means I'm not using the treasure table. So I'm Pop-Tart Demon. I will be your GM for this adventure. Yeah. Feel free to introduce yourselves, ladies. I have no plans here.
That's a little worrying since you're the GM and you're supposed to have somewhat of a plan.
No, see, I have a script for the game. It was the part where I have to be myself, not God. That's where the problem is. I'm really good at the God part. I promise.
Lively story.
Who wants to go? Who wants to go first?
Let's start. I'm probably going the wrong way because I think the camera's backwards for me. Let's start with Diana. Introduce yourself and that sort of thing.
Yes. Hola, I am Diana Moon. I go by Diana Moon online. I use she, her pronouns. This is my first time playing Pathfinder 1E. But I played D&D in the past and many other things in the past. And if you'd like to see what shenanigans I do, you can find me on Twitter at Diana Moon, or on Twitch at xDianaMoonX. I am technically officially an RPG writer pro. So if you like Pathfinder, if you like Starfinder, I've made some cool aliens for you if you want to check out the Alien Archive 4 book. Whee! And that's me. And I'm going to punt it over to Kay, because I can.
Okay, hi, I am Kay. I also use she, her pronouns. I don't do much online that people need to check out, so I'm going to skip that part. But I have not played Pathfinder before, and it's been a very long time since I've played any tabletops that have combat systems. So I'm excited to be doing that with this group of people. That is all. Spellsy?
Yeah, I'm Spellsy. My pronouns are she, her. As for things doing stuff at night, I make art, and you'll see art of the characters slowly, very slow. But we have a pretty Sakura done for people to see, and soon the other two will be finished as well. But yeah, that's all. Your turn, Effie.
Okay. Most of you probably know who I am. Considering, well, I hope there could be new people here, but I'm Nephidine. I'm the owner of this channel. I do a lot of different types of arts and crafts, writing. This is definitely not my first time playing Pathfinder, though it has been quite a while. I've been playing at least for the past 2.5, 3 years in D&D 5e, so this is a return to my roots for me. But yeah, that's me. I'm running things. I'll be answering questions in chat if anybody has questions, or we do have a bunch of commands. Oh, I forgot to add that command. I will look at that.
Neffy. You guys are seeing our literal first
Very first session.
everything.
Everything will go wrong today, but that's good because we'll get it.
We thought it'd be good to showcase, all the things that can happen, so that way someday, all of you start DMing and stuff, if you don't already, or playing, that you can see how wrong things can go and still be adequate. So I should also mention I go by she, her. I totally.
Oh yeah, I go by she, her too.
Oh look, we got Skyler.
Yeah, it's what's his name?
Of course you can subscribe. It's all good. But yeah, and my Twitter is PopTartDemon424. I retweet mostly, so don't expect anything too exciting. But there are kittens.
There be cat.
So,
just making you a little bit larger so we can see your pretty face.
That's clear.
Yeah, make me bigger.
I didn't think it was that kind of game/stream.
You have me playing.
There's always a chance.
It's going to happen.
I was gonna say there's always.
So it's okay. I have friends that this stream channel is rated as 18 plus, even though most of my content is probably PG-13.
You're the reason it's above.
Yeah,
No,
it's our fault. We understand.
No, there's one specific person.
I wonder which one of us.
Nope.
I mean,
no one here.
I have an idea who it might be.
Oh, they know, so you're okay to say.
I know who it is.
You both know who it is.
But now.
Yes.
Wait, so PG-13, is it? Did you say it was PG-13? Does that mean we get to say the F word just once per session?
No, you can say the F word as much as you want. That's why it's listed as mature. But most of my content that I do on my own is PG-13.
We'll make up for it.
I may say F once when I spill a whole bottle of resin on myself.
Well, that's valid.
Yeah, super valid.
All right. So with that out of the way, we're too poor to have announcements or sponsors or anything except for ourselves. So check out the various Twitters we've mentioned. Mostly everybody else's. And in the meantime, while you judge us for the things we tweet, let's get started with tonight's episode of Thanks for Playing.
Yes. Although I should go
Now, this. Dramatic lighting. You all come from different walks of life. You have different methods and modes of dealing with things, but today, on this day of winter in the land of Brevoy, you will all be united by one thing. Luck. Probably. We'll see what you make of it. Imagine, if you will, dear audience, you're a bird, flying in the wind, flapping gently. It's really cold, by the way, because it's winter in a land where winter is cold. And down we come, fluttering, trying to find a nice place to go. And we perch outside a window, looking in at the warmth within the building. And Spicy, what is your character doing? It's probably, we'll say 1 p.m. or so.
I would say she would probably be either just kind of walking around or bugging her sister, whichever comes first.
In case perhaps I should ask your sister. What are the girls up to?
It's about 1 p.m. I know that Sakura
Early afternoon.
would probably be going around the marketplace trying to find ingredients for tonight's dinner. If we have no other plans, that is.
You do actually have plans this evening. The two of you have recently received a missive from a very harried-looking young man, probably half elven by the look of him, bundled up tight against the winter chill, and he presented you each with a carefully written note in a lady's scrawling yet beautiful handwriting. Some months ago, various reasons, each of you saw a poster up, we'll say, a scroll, advertising an opportunity for adventure and profit, power, intrigue. And on a whim, on belief in destiny, whatever appeals to you each individually, you signed up for this little lottery, likely thinking that none of you would ever win such a thing. But you two sisters, being the first to be found, since it's easy to find two tieflings wandering around together, received this missive inviting you to the humble abode of one Lady Vellara, congratulating you on winning her lottery, and to meet her this very evening for supper and discussion as to what this little venture shall be.
Mm-hmm. I made sure to put on my best kimono.
I believe if that's the case, Socorro would be looking through the marketplace for some sort of gift, like a bottle of wine or baked goods or flowers to give to the lady for inviting us. Even though, we're answering a missive, you shouldn't come empty-handed. That would be rude.
And that's something your character knows very well, being a fairly educated sword.
Yay for smartness!
Yay for manners.
Manners, yes. Manners are better than smartness.
Our little audience bird, our plot pigeon, jumps up from the barrel that he's landed upon, away from the warmth of the window to find perhaps warmer areas, perhaps just something to eat, as there was no bread scraps here. But surely in this next place it lands, where we might find Diana's character, perhaps here it might find a scrap of bread or a morsel of bird food.
Sorry, I had to make an Eric joke.
Oh
no.
Prudence.
It's always an appropriate time for an Eric joke. I will allow this.
Yes. But we love you, Eric. Eric the bird.
One of the birds.
So yeah, no, there's always treats where Ami is concerned. She has them for, not just for herself, but for her pet dragon. Even though no one believes that she has a pet dragon, she does. It's just a baby dragon named Arcade. Who's always a good dragon, always says what they're told, and keeps her happy, so she always has treats. And if there's a bird around, she's very easily distracted, she'll happily give the bird a treat.
So, little sparrow type. Just your very typical, as I call them, a little peeper. It's just your very typical little bird that has decided to perhaps winter over here for whatever reason. And it happily pecks at the various crumbs and tweets at you as a bird do.
Of course. And Ami kind of, it's sort of like half pretending and half believing. She's like, oh yes, it is going to be quite the cold day today, little bird. As if she can actually understand the birdie. Even though the birdie probably said something completely different in reality.
It may have been mother, but you wouldn't know. So
exactly. But yeah, she's just I think she's sorry, words today. She's just milling about. It's one of the days she decided not to do any extra training and just relaxing and taking in the nice coolness of the weather, and maybe possibly playing a little hide and seek with Arcade.
morning, another harried individual, this time a gnome, managed to seek you out and give you a similar missive inviting you to supper. I invite you to supper. Whoops.
Wow.
I didn't know it was this
Freudian
kind of
slip.
dinner party. I didn't know it was
Supper,
this
yeah.
kind of dinner party.
To supper, to dinner. There we go. No slips there. To dinner at Lady Vellara's, with instructions how to reach there, by the way, for those of you who are not familiar with her.
Yeah, I don't think. If anything, she might have, because Ami does like to hang out in saloons and bars and such. If there's been any high rumors about this particular lady, she might have heard one or two things, but she hears a lot of things from a lot of people.
Yeah, nothing of particular interest.
But she loves meeting new people and is very happy to have this invitation. I don't think she quite remembers why she would get an invitation. She's a little scatterbrained at times, as one might say, you know.
And lastly, our little bird friend takes off once more, off into the trees. Now belly slightly more full with tasty bread. Follows a nice breeze coasting along the trees. And where might we find you, Kay?
Hey. No.
Yeah.
I've already put trees for you.
No.
I know. I got distracted because I got excited about the trees.
No.
Saren is kind of trying to get a scope of where people are populating in town. So they are up in the trees right now and looking around and kind of watching paths of people and where they're turning, which pubs are they gathering in, because they've got a plan to go hear what everybody has been getting up to so they can track down the best story of the day. So that's what they want to hear about. I think when they notice the bird fly up, they kind of take a second to turn and look at them. And I think they'll kind of laugh and say, if you could tell me a story, I'd listen to yours too, but I don't think I'll understand it, before they kind of, hop down out of the trees to kind of start their walk into a busier part of town.
Along this walk, you too, the final member, being somewhat harder to find since most people don't think to look up, shall receive said missive from a very disheveled-looking human boy, who is very glad to have found you, and has been looking everywhere for you for days. But he too gives you the aforementioned letter inviting you to supper that evening.
I think after reading the letter, kind of tucks it in, doesn't really have pockets, honestly, tucks it into satchel with my familiar, and joking, like, take a look at this, and just quickly head straight to the first pub that they had been scoping out, and might listen around for a certain name while they're there, just to see if they hear anything.
Since usually you and Diana both, we'll say they're different places, but since you both mentioned you're listening for rumors and such, roll me, let's see here, because there's an actual thing for that, maybe.
First roll of the night. Oh boy.
There we go. Go ahead and roll me a d10 each. And then tell me what you get. 9? Okay.
Oh, I crit failed.
This is just for what number it is. There's no fails happening. You're okay. You literally can't fail this. Alright, so a 9 and a 1. Alright. Kay, you're actually going to hear a little bit about the lands to the south. You are somewhat familiar with them, as you are well acquainted with the fact that there is some interesting Fey activity down that way. You hear that a Taldan group, Taldor being a land quite a ways away, but considered kind of the height of much. Very much Roman Empire plus France plus England plus yeah, all the good stuff. Very cultured. You hear that some Taldan colonists actually made an attempt to settle the lands to the south, and they failed, which is interesting in and of itself. More so because it wasn't because of a lack of resources that they failed. Rumor has it that there's gold in them hills. And people are all talking about it. Some months ago now, it is currently Valerian calendar days. It is currently the month of Neth, which for those of us uninitiated is the equivalent of November, hence the much snow. And back in Aerodis, which is August, late August, several groups of individuals from Brevoy itself actually were sent south to attempt to, as the people say, tame the wild lands. But there hasn't been a whole lot of news since, except for one or two failures along the way. As for you, Diana, you get something completely different.
Yay!
You hear a rumor that some of the hunters that frequent between here, Brevoy itself, and the lands to the south, have gone missing. They don't seem to come around anymore. And there's all sorts of rumors as to why that could be happening. There's tell of bandits, there's tell of monsters, there's tell of owlbears and tricksy fae and human greed. It's hard to separate fact from fiction, but nonetheless, various individuals just don't seem to be around anymore.
Interesting.
Are you going to go out? Yeah.
So, you'd spend your day, some of you, preparing housewarming gifts for your unknown benefactor, apparently. Since someone's giving you a free meal and she sounds fancy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, her name was Lady Vellara? Or
Vellara. And I can text those for you if you like. Vellara. No last name given at the moment.
I spelled it wrong. She's like, there's something wrong here.
It's okay, as long as you can understand what you put, I don't... Meh.
Sorry, I missed that. My dog keeps coming in and leaving and then opening up the door again. And my husband's streaming. And for those of you who haven't been on my stream before, he is loud.
Yes. Yes. But yes, some of you spend most of your day gathering various housewarming gifts, and scoping out various merchants and their kin. Wink wonk. Some of you listen to stories, and some of you find new ones to tell. But as the day gets later, only 4 or 5 o'clock is when most people are kind of finishing up their work day. The sky is starting to darken because it is full winter, as we all in the northern hemisphere know. So about 5 o'clock or so, you're starting to see the sunset. And you know it is approaching dinner time. And so perhaps you should all find your way, via the instructions, to this lovely place.
I imagine that Sakura pulls Kana away from some young thing that she's flirting with and drags her down the street, looking at the instructions, trying to make sure that they're arriving at the right house. I would imagine that the items that she would have gotten would have been a rather popular wine, maybe not the most elegant, but a popular wine, and some sweets like sweet cakes to bring in as like contribution. Words are hard. To the dinner itself. So
it is not hard to find this place, as you quickly realize, and I'm going to assume nobody gets lost, to be honest, because the way the city is set up, and all of you are fairly familiar, even the slightly scatterbrained of us. There are districts.
That's what I have arcade for. Arcade keeps me in line.
And you quickly realize that the district you're being led to is France. It is
should have spent more on the wine.
It has been nicknamed the Greens by most people, as most common folk, shall we say, as it is actually one of the few places that during the warmer months actually has active plant growth that is just pretty, as opposed to practical. Because they have the money to afford such things.
They have the nice gardens.
Yeah. They have a garden for looks, not just for practical. And you're not headed far in. You're not headed to the, grand mansions, but easily probably the biggest house any of you can ever remember entering. And the gates are opened. There are gates, for one thing. And you walk in, and even snow covered, you can see how nicely tended this yard might be in the warmer months. There are shrubberies and such that have been left to grow pleasantly wild, very tamed wild, if you will. Very cottagecore that way, shall we say? That's that very personal. Oh, I just got out of bed like this kind of bush look.
The bushes got out of bed?
Yeah, well, bedhead bushes. But, there's some nice trees. There's a weeping willow off to one side that you can see sparkles with ice in the light, even dimming. The house itself is very attractive. It looks more delicate than most of the houses you see around here. Just the way the architecture is, as opposed to, thick columns that, hold up all of these. It's very much winding knotwork metal and such. There's carvings, even in the windowsills, of plant life and leaves. And it's very pretty. And from within, it glows. You see there's a nice, warm, kind of orangey light that glows from inside. And as you approach it, before you even have the chance to knock, actually, having some camera fun. Before you even knock, actually, it's double doors, but one door, because that's practical, swings open, large, wooden, heavy door. And a very well-dressed, warmly dressed, mind you, but well-dressed half-orc man with his hair pulled back in a nice braid that's kind of put a little, man bun right at the back of his head. Opens the door for you. And says, yes, you must be the visitors. The lady is expecting you. You're early. And beckons you into the lovely, toasty, warm interior.
It will take Sakura a little bit of time. She's a wee bit distracted by this shiny, shiny tree. Even if it is just from ice, she does stand there and watch the light play off of the crystals of ice hanging from the branches.
Kana's gonna give her a little nudge to go in.
But it's so pretty. Look at it. Look
Yes,
at Kana.
it's pretty, but you need to go inside. Kind of
But
just her.
just 5 more minutes.
No.
2 more minutes.
No.
Well, I delayed you long enough, so I got at least one more minute. She'll go in, reluctantly. Are there more shiny things inside?
Await your companions to enter. Because the door is still open. It is warm and cozy and beckoning.
If other people are still outside, she's gonna be like right in the door, kind of peeking out to look at the tree. It's really shiny.
When Ami comes up, she's and I'm gonna put this in the Discord so only the fellow people can see instead of on foot. She's carrying what is like a vintage vintage to us looking teapot holder, because apparently that was a thing in the Victorian era. But inside is there is a teapot in there, but a small teapot. But that's where she's keeping her dragon. It's actually a baby dragon, and she'll keep assisting, even though if it looks like an axolotl instead of a fat baby axolotl instead. It's also nice and cozy inside this teapot holder because it's cold outside, and she doesn't want Arcade to freeze. Arcade can't create fire yet, you know. Eventually, just got to figure out the right treats. Exactly. It's baby. And she's not quite bundled up appropriately, but has a lot of layers and is very colorful. Wild hair, like in the picture that I'm using from a doll maker. Kind of looks like that. And she just smiles. Doesn't quite recognize the other companion that's there, who she's definitely met once before. Just gives like a very what's the word I'm looking for? Polite smile and nod and kind of looks at the half orc like, oh, you're interesting. And yeah, she liked that. And she just kind of gives him a bit of a wink as she walks inside.
I think Sarah kind of trailed behind as they saw these other people approaching and going in. So after they all enter, she also walks over to the weeping willow tree that Sakura was so interested in, and I think she'll give it kind of, just a gentle touch down the leaves of it. Saren's hair is actually like weeping willow branches, basically. So when she sees these kind of trees, she always feels that like kinship of the plant life with her, because it's kind of like a brother almost to her. So I think she'll give it just a gentle kind of like brushing like you would a wind chime. But they kind of skip a little ahead, maybe lift up from the ground with her wings a little bit as she like just walks past straight through the door, past the guy, doesn't say anything to the half orc really, as she walks in and just stops in the middle of kind of the foyer they've come into, and just bears ahead waiting because she's there to hear what is going on.
The half orc butler, for lack of a better term at the moment, kind of watching this. He's very good at keeping his face composed, but anyone who wants to can roll a sense motive check if you'd like, which is d20 plus your sense motive for on your skills.
I shall do that as soon as I find where it is.
Skills alphabetical.
Oh, smart.
Certainly helps me. You saw me go through. Let's go. Sundown memorized them today. Not that day.
Oh, also, what in the world?
So you said D20, right?
Yeah. D20 plus whatever your sense motive score is.
I got a 13.
Okay.
I got a 24.
Yeah.
Nice.
A 9.
Okay. And Kay, I assume you are. I am here for what's going on, y'all. Okay.
Motive's not really important right now. Not for them.
Yeah. Spells that you are distracted by the rippling abdominals. Because, like, he's well dressed and the suit is tailored for him. It does not hide his physique at all. And, ooh boy.
Oh, yes,
he does not do desk work. Unless that is bench pressing the desk. So, like, he's got, like the vest and such on and, like, the nice pants, but he's got, like, a robe over it with, like, a fur trim kind of collar going on. So, And that man bun, though.
Gotta
I
love
wonder
that.
if he does that himself. Probably. He looks capable. But Diana and I'll give Nephew bonus info because my goodness. But you two can very easily see that despite the composure on his face, there is definitely that slight upward tick of an eyebrow going, them? He was not expecting probably so eclectic a band of individuals. With
I'm used
tree
to that.
distraction, fairy, underdressed, and big. That's just like, them! Nephi, you can almost, because of your high roll, you actually get an additional little feel here of almost a protectiveness, not over any of you, but actually against all of you. That whatever's going on, he's not sure this is a great plan. It doesn't feel personal in any way. It doesn't feel like he's like, that pixie in particular. Since he probably has no idea what you are, to be honest. But it's just more of a generalized, whatever is happening, he's not sure this is the wisest course of action, but he's not the boss. So
her ears kind of flick and her tail kind of swishes kind of in like a cat eyeing something to pounce on. Not like, I'm going to eat it or, play with it sort of way, but kind of a curiosity.
mm-hmm.
I think of that look they get, when they see something moving, sort of ready to pounce.
And the fox can sense the rabbit under the snow. It's like,
yes. I'm not gonna dive headfirst into the snow like some foxes, but I am definitely curious.
But I'm gonna watch it. And the foyer you were all in, and he's gently. It's not a push in any way, but there is sort of a very leading sort of air. Like he's leading you off to the right, towards another. The door is cracked. It's another very thick wooden door this time. Obviously, an indoor style door rather than the outdoor, which is even thicker. But everything is just. Honestly, Saki, you're gonna get very distracted because it is very shiny in this house. It's definitely a 2-story. Even that from the outside you can see. But there's a grand central staircase that reaches up onto the 2nd floor where all the doors are shut. It is a chandelier, but it's not one of those gaudy, lots of crystals type. It actually looks
Aww.
like branches made of some sort of hammered metal with very small, like, circular glass orbs of light.
Oh, I love that. So
And very quickly you realize there's, again, that sort of delicate vines and leaves and small blossoms motif carries on throughout this room, even the floor, though it is a tile, similar to a marble flooring. But even the veins that have been picked out of this is very, very light green against a much darker green background, as it kind of spider webs out like the roots of a low growing plant. But he leads you off to the right towards the cracked door, and it says that the lady shall be with you shortly. Please feel free to make yourselves comfortable. And opens that door as well. And inside is a study, by all appearances. There's a desk off to one corner that you're pretty sure has probably been moved for this occasion, because there is a much larger table that this room accommodates, with seating for about 8 people, you'd say. Very comfortably. Everybody has elbow room. Even if you were as big as this strapping, muscled, chiseled half-orc. Call me. Universal sign of call me. Even if you were all built like him, you'd still have a little elbow room. With nice sturdy chairs that again have that same kind of interwoven vine carving to them that matches the table. And there is a sumptuous feast spread out on this table, at least as far as most of you are concerned. Here's to, a nice hearty bowl of stew and a good chunk of dark, sweet bread. There is a ham. There's like an entire roast chicken. There's a bowl of shining apples and grapes that are still glistening with water and ice. It appears they've probably taken some of the freshly fallen snow and actually like put it over the tops of them to keep them cold. So all of it will be bright and crisp and shining. There's gravy. There's like 3 or 4 loaves of different types of bread. Some with seeds, some nice dark. You can smell the molasses. Some of it just rich and fluffy. There's a pot set on top of like a little pedestal with a little fire underneath that is just wafting this rich, meaty, unctuous smell. And pies. Because of course there are pies.
It sounds so good. And he left, right?
Yeah, he leaves you guys alone in this room.
Immediately I open my purse so that Arcade can come out, and Arcade just like goes onto my arm, and not thinking of, I should introduce myself to anybody, just goes immediately to the buffet. It's like, Arcade, look, all the different types we can try. But don't overstuff yourself.
As well, by the way.
Oh yeah. Arcade doesn't need to. They can just nibble.
Of course. And then each place setting is a metal, it looks hammered, it's very simplistic, but a metal goblet, the base of which is wood, but the cup itself of which is the hammered metal. And you can see there's a small, like spoonful, basically, of fresh snow in each one. And there's a bucket with snow in it with a couple of bottles of something. You can't see the labels at current, but they look like your typical alcohol bottles, probably cider, if you had to guess.
I feel like I've been outclassed. I feel like my gifts are inadequate.
It's okay.
You're just standing there with like this cheap wine, like, this was expensive to me.
It's the thought that counts, and I hope that sentiment is appreciated. I hope I'm not making a fool of myself.
And as you guys are taking this in, just the smells and warmth. There's a fireplace off to the side that is blazing pleasantly with a grate in front that's all like petals and vines and topped with like blooming flowers at the top. And it's just a full, solid stone fireplace up to the ceiling. And books just line all. Essentially, there are no walls. There is a window, but the curtains have been drawn too to help keep the room warm with nice, thick, blue curtains, like blue velvet. It's very like dark woods mixed with accents of light wood in here, so it's cozy. Despite the spaciousness of the house, this room feels warm and cozier, and perhaps that's why she picked it. But outside the door, you can actually hear the half-orc speaking with a much more lilting voice, and some swift footsteps. And the door opens up, and you see an elven woman, who is shrugging off a heavy, woolen, furred cloak into his arms. And she is beautiful. Some of you, Saki and Kana in particular, have seen some genuinely... You've seen women whose job it is to be beautiful and cultured. She could give them a run for their money. She has...
Damn.
Her skin is dark as the ocean is deep, with warm brown eyes like the skin of a hazelnut, like the outside of a hazelnut brown. And she has braids and twists in her hair that have little glittering beads throughout that reach down to her waist, and they're just thick and shining, and she's wearing a really simple, surprisingly enough, despite the grandeur of the surroundings almost, the dress, though it is a very fine one, and you can see that from its make, is fairly simplistic. There's not a lot of adornment to it. Is a, for lack of a better term, it's a very pretty but working sort of dress. And she has slippers on, and even as she looks at it, you can see there's a tinge of cold pink to her nose from being outside. And she said, I'm so terribly sorry for keeping you waiting. I was checking on a few preparations. Please sit, and I will. First, we must eat, but then I will gladly explain. I'm so glad you could all make it. Forgive me, I'm Vellara. Please, just Vellara.
Sakura will give sort of a polite bow at the waist, not like a curtsy, but a respectful bow. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here. And she kind of looks at the gifts that she brought, that she's still holding in her hand, and then kind of looks at the table. It seemed only appropriate that we bring something in thanks to our hostess.
Thank you so much, dear. And she comes forward and she places her hands over yours, and they're chilled but still warm at the palms, which are very soft and very smooth. And she places them.
She is a lady that does not have any manual labor. Got it.
Yes. Any labor she does is for pleasure, not for necessity. You can see, though, her nails are not as finely kept. They're not bad, but you've seen ladies walking around and such, and usually their nails are the style is very cared for and rounded and delicate looking. Hers are very short. You can actually see a little bit of dirt under some of them, and along kind of the creases of her cuticle line and such. But she leans into you as squeezing your hands very gently, but just very thankful, and seems genuinely charmed that you thought to bring a gift.
Yay, I'm not a fool.
And the butler kind of comes back from hearing his scolding. Sorry, man. It's not me. You should apologize to. And he takes the aforementioned gifts and simply goes off to plate them and bring them back.
After that, Sakura will take a seat in the middle, making sure that Kana is on the outside, so that she's in between Kana and these other two ladies who she's not quite familiar with yet. Not in a rude way, but in giving my sister some buffer. Just in case. Just in case.
Because
she's so worried I'm going to get in trouble.
Why would she think that? When was
Either in trouble or you'll offend.
That long? But
I think, yeah, because you said her skin's the color of a deep ocean, right?
Oh yeah, it's very dark.
Ami's just very mesmerized, because I don't think she's met very many people like that before. And something about the ocean, actual ocean, not the lake that we're kind of near, kind of calls to Ami a bit. The idea is it's kind of that thing, wherever your home country's from, you get that feeling, that longing. And so because Ami knows she's Suli, that this is not her homeland, kind of thing. And so she's kind of a little, she's not, what's the word, she knows social conventions and everything, but she is kind of staring a little bit longer than she normally would. And just mouth slightly ajar a bit. And then I presume probably RK makes it bumps into one of the many foods to make a noise and everything while it eats. It's oh yes, thank you. And I think she not any mechanical reason, but kind of tries to prod a little bit, but no, she's a little too distracted to for her psychic stuff to work. And but there's that weird hesitation there, and just smiles oh, you have offered us a wonderful bounty of food.
And she, kind of ducks her head in that very polite, thank you kind of way, and puts out a hand, and not in that lady puts it out for you to kiss, but actually offers a handshake to you and introduces herself again as she will to each of you, and does smile at the little noise that RK makes and says, "And what's this?"
Oh, well, this is just a baby fire dragon, my little arcade.
I cannot
Saren's
say
eyebrows raise at this because Saren has heard this before. But
Saren's
isn't
going,
commenting
wait a
yet.
minute.
Saren's just like raises their eyebrows, kind of like, mm-hmm.
I cannot say I've had the pleasure of having a dragon in my presence. I'm kidding, of course.
I know, so many people just disbelieve it, you know, but if you've never seen one before, how do you really know if you haven't met one?
Certainly, are we not all immortal until we die?
I think while you guys are talking, Kana's just like off to the side, kind of like sneakily giving the dragon treats.
Just like you like grapes, pop.
Girl, you want some of this?
Excellent.
I think Saren, well, as that conversation kind of stutters out about the dragon, will look to Laura and say, yes, thank you for the food. It's been some time since I've had, and I think it would be safe to assume that from their experiences, they would know like this particular kind of apple as like one that is popular with certain creatures. And kind of pick it up and say, apples from this region. I haven't been there in some time. They'll take a big bite out of it and sit down next to where RK is, kind of pat their head a little bit like, hello again, and just sit back to eat their apple.
And to start bringing some of the more interesting varieties to... Forgive me, this sounds so cliche, but the masses? To the people of Bradford.
People are not always willing or able to try the many foods that there are out there. I certainly haven't tried them all yet.
It'd be marvelous to try one of everything.
Always fun to try anything.
Laughs and
Still
it's
don't
very
eat your broccoli.
musical.
Well, that's because that is disgusting.
But it's a very musical laugh as she turns to you, and she's actually going to take the seat nearest you, Kana. Oh yeah, there are 2 seats, honey. 2 hands, 2 seats. And she's going to sit on the other side of you, and offer the same, handshake to you as well.
She takes her hand and also she will kiss her hand though.
Oh my. So I know which one's the charmer of the group.
Behave.
I will try.
Please don't behave on my account. But please eat. And Marcus comes back and he has plated the cakes on a nice little platter. And he's taken the wine, but you notice it's not cooled. He actually brings it out in like a kettle where he's warmed it and added fruits to it.
Oh, nice.
To make it a nice kind of mold warmed wine. Whether that was his choice or not, hard to say. But it nonetheless smells wonderful. It has slices of orange and apple and such in it, a couple of cranberries, that sort of thing.
Some cinnamon and nutmeg.
I like food, okay? It's my favorite part.
Okay, George R. R. Martin.
Politics, intrigue, combat? No, food.
It's all about the food.
I have literally cooked a mini version of a wedding feast.
Nice.
No, this whole game is just about cooking. We're all cooking adventurers now. It's fine.
It's actually called Food Wars.
Yeah.
Somebody's clothes are gonna get blown off, and I know who Kana's hoping for. The answer is yes.
Ami does finally sit down. Like, she's still mesmerized by Liddy. But she sits down finally next to still getting terrible with name, Saren, and turns and looks like, you seem familiar. Have we met before? And I don't mean this as one of those silly pickup lines that the human males like to do.
I wouldn't expect that from you. And yes, we have.
Where's your? Yes, I think. Yes, you're right, RK. We have. RK
You mean
wonders.
Owen?
Yes,
And
Alan.
I think her pouch just kind of had been like tucked in the chair next to them, and we'll open it up and just pop the familiar right out. Little dinosaur on the table now.
I wasn't sure what you chose.
I chose the dinosaur.
To find out. I'm so excited.
So yeah, there is a small dinosaur named Owen on the table now. Very well mannered, very intelligent. Is my familiar, and I think Owen probably would immediately approach RK because I think that they would remember each other.
Of course, RK remembers everything. That's what one of the many reasons I have RK around. But yeah, and immediately like a big beatific smile like at seeing Awen. I was like, yes. Oh, I wonder if they've received my letters. Have they mentioned anything to you?
No?
Oh, well, I'm never sure how big the distance is.
I mean, I'm certain that Owen got them if they could, but I'm surprised that you would send letters to my familiar and not to me. Am I so forgettable?
And they kind of cocked their head a bit, like, sorry?
Well, if you know my familiar, then of course you also know me.
Well, yes, but well, it happened. I apologize. Sometimes
Oh,
my
No,
memory gets a little scattered.
I'm teasing too much. I know. You've already told me that.
Oh, well, good. At least you remember. At least one of us remembers, and that's better than neither of us remembering. Though I'm pretty sure, and I think that's when she turns to the two sisters. I definitely don't remember ever meeting the two of you before.
Uh, that's because we haven't met before, my dear.
Oh, good.
Sakura Ida.
Amiki Kubasi.
And my name is Kamiko Ida, but you can call me Kami for short. And then she kind of gives her a wink.
Immediately, Ami winks back, like, just smiling.
Behave.
I am behaving.
No, you're flirting, and that is improper. We're a guest.
It's still a good. Our host did not say anything against it.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. I think it's best to get to know each of you a little bit.
Yes, well, I also have not met either of you. I am Sarah. I look forward to hearing all about your lives.
Well, there's not much to say about ours, I'm afraid. Well, simple
I'm sure
folk.
there's more than you think. Certainly something.
Oh, there could be a story or two there. Just, I'm sure there are more interesting ones out there.
I will judge that for myself.
Pop Tart's doing a little dance. I see you.
I know after a bit, Kana's gonna start like filling her plate with food and
Yeah, like already.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wine.
Slicing some chicken, slicing a piece of ham, tears off a piece of bread.
Oh yeah, totally. Ami's into like everything drinking, especially the mulled wine and everything. But you do see her pull out from the same bag that she had pulled out RK, like a little teapot and cup, and pours herself a very like strong, very caffeinated tea.
Kana's gonna look at you. She's like, "It's that bag of bottomless pit of yours. Do you have something else hiding in there?"
Oh, I wish. No, but sometimes when RK is in there, they can be a little bit of a bottomless pit.
Arcade looks over with a grape in each cheek. I have no idea what unfortunately don't say that. No.
They're an off boy, apparently.
Look, man, it works in the cartoons. It's magic.
It's fine.
It's magic.
It's a putty baby axolotl, of course.
Yeah, it's magic.
Sakura.
And they like grapes, apparently.
Sakura will fill her plate mostly with chicken, um, and some fruits and vegetables, and then she'll have gravy over. Like her meat and mashed
Everything?
potatoes. No, because gravy and fruit don't mix.
Oh no, that's valid. That's valid. I just figured that was on a separate plate.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
One plate and then have a second one for the stuff you miss.
Because there's also pie.
And cakes. Don't forget the cakes.
Sarah's
I spent
plate
money
is
on those
all-
cakes.
Probably all fruits and like fruit variations.
Oh yeah.
There's no meat on the
Veggies and
plate.
stuff I didn't mention too. Just I was making you guys
Yeah.
so hungry. So like, there's
Yeah.
ginger carrots. There's
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
I think just being like having spent so much time with various like fae over the years, they just have a really strong taste for fruits, especially when there's like, as mentioned, a nice variety.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of indulging on that while it's all
Oh yeah.
right here.
And when you guys have gotten most of the way through the initial portions, a couple, including Marcus once more, actually come and take away those plates and bring out additional plates of like berries, and there's cream, and yeah, it's a nice little setup she's got going on here. There's like fresh honey with like the honey drizzler thing that always makes you feel real fancy. Because it do.
When the second course of fruits and creams come out, like Sakura's first meal would have been very tasteful, enough to get a little bit of variety of everything, but not being overindulgent. She overindulges on the fruits and cream.
Yeah, I think when the next course comes out, Ami does it without really realizing it, and I don't know if I need to roll for this because magic is new to me. She uses mage hands to grab things just as soon as they come, like.
No, you don't need to roll for that.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, you see her, like, kind of subconsciously just doing it as if she didn't realize she did it.
Vellara seeing this, and she has, like, a tasteful amount of them herself, has, like, a little, like... It comes out with, like, a little fork, like a little fruit fork, so you look all fancy. And she is using that, and she seems to like it. You get the impression she probably doesn't get to break these out very often. And she likes the tiny fork. Which says, make sure to leave room for dessert. Which is when you realize this isn't the dessert course. There is more.
It wasn't that Ami didn't realize it. She just immediately says, like, oh, well, I thought we were going to have to work for the dessert.
Well,
I like her thinking.
We'll get to that over in the
I
dessert.
do think Vellara does intend to put us to some type of work.
Well, I should hope so. Though, obviously, if you've won the opportunity to be offered this work, you are under no obligation to accept it. Regardless, enjoy. This part is merely niceties. I don't get to host people very often. My work usually has me traveling.
Have you traveled?
What? And also, what work do you do, if you don't mind me asking?
Same answer for both, really. I'm a tutor, mostly. I travel between here and the Kioran Forest, primarily. Though, I would say the majority of my work keeps me within Brevoy, just the different regions thereof. But I tutor the children, primarily of nobles. Though, if you don't mind me mentioning a pet project of mine, I do have some interesting work going on to try to bring it to more individuals, but there has been some pushback, of course, as there's always want to be.
Okay, puppy.
I see, like, stab of, like, a slice of strawberry.
Her work must be very interesting. You get to meet so many people.
And it is always useful to know everyone and their children.
Really.
You know, I had a tutor once, but I didn't learn anything about books and stuff. I learned how to keep the bad dreams away.
Specialist, then, I would say.
Yeah. But I had to go to them once a week for almost a year to and she kind of just like she's trying to actually figure out the words that she wants to say, and then like how do I say this? Her face kind of shifts a little bit, like where it was like bright and like having food and being a little flirtatious and kind of a little bit more serious, and it's like, oh, but I'm sure that's not the kind of tutoring you were doing.
I mostly history primarily. That's rather my specialty. Arithmetic, writing, those manner of things.
Is
A much more
it,
generalized education.
to beg your pardon, would your history be because you've lived through it and it is your past, or is it more an academic
Both.
pursuit?
I would say both. I have lived through certain events, but much of it is academic. I always find it interesting to imagine what even, forgive my saying so, even a long-lived race such as I, what has come before. And just how far back one can remember, and still there's more to come. Or, well, more to have happened. And once, about this time, things are finishing up, and the last of the, basically all of the tables cleared at this point, and there's like napkins and such. And each of you's brought a fairly large cup, actually. It's a mug. But it's rounded, it's nice looking, it's simplistic. But it's the size of like a small saucer at the top, and it has this little white like pillow at the bottom. And the various individuals, there's basically one for each of your cups, leans over with a small like tea kettle and pours it in. And as they pour in this thick, dark brown liquid, the pillow kind of floats up and then blossoms into a little flower.
What type of flower?
It's hot chocolate with a marshmallow flower. But it's like the European style hot chocolate that's real thick. With
The
lots of
drinking
seeds.
chocolate. Yes, so good.
I think Saren will poke at the marshmallow. Maybe has never had a marshmallow before. Not
So
sure.
Cora will bring it up to her lips just to breathe in deeply the smell of the hot chocolate.
And it is dark and cocoa-y. You can smell there's like cinnamon and maybe a touch of nutmeg to it. There's a little bit of spice to it. And then obviously this sweet little marshmallow that you can see is slowly melting into the chocolate. So it makes a nice little foam layer on top.
I'm like totally amazed by this and staring at it and then debating as Arcade is rolling around, being like a little bit of a much more rounder actual
Rolls off the table.
yeah. I think
He's like one of the balloon animals.
Yes,
If he can't
tastes
try
like
to
a
touch
few
the
for life.
balloon.
He can barely walk. All he can do is waddle.
Yes.
Waddle.
I imagine those French videos where like the legs don't even touch, so they're just kind of rotating.
Yes.
And she
I
has
do-
one too, and she sips it.
Nice. I assume Awen did not eat as much as
No.
my dragon.
Awen's a little peckish. Just eats leaves mostly.
There was salad.
Yeah, so I think I gave them some of that, but they're not going to indulge in the hot chocolate. That's all Saren's.
Yeah, I think that's all ours. And
Yeah. While you guys are just like admiring the beautiful flowers, Kana's just like sip.
Sip, sip, bitch.
This is tasty.
So Cora is going to take nice, slow, long sips, savoring the flavor. Because I'm pretty sure she hasn't had anything quite as decadent or as sweet.
Not likely any of you have ever had chocolate. Maybe
No.
once. For some of you, but like maybe once, and you probably
Yeah.
have.
At least for Kana, it would have been one.
Yeah. But even still, not like this.
yeah, definitely. I think I probably had a marshmallow before, but not chocolate.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just like, if I didn't know any better, I would say that you were lulling us into something quite different.
This is quite the bribe.
I mean, a false sense of security, so you might be more open to my proposal.
I wouldn't put that out of your mind just yet. Though I do think some of the more problematic proposals are more fun anyways.
If this is your way as a bribe, I'm fully accepting it.
And she places the cup down. That does bring us to our bit of business. The opportunity that I have aforementioned. I'm sure, as most of you are aware, there is a quite grand swath of land to the south. You might have heard it referred to as the Stolen Lands. Supposedly it belongs to someone, usually Brevoy, and they seek to lay claim to it. Some months ago, summer months, several parties were dispatched to explore these lands by order of the King Regent and with the agreement of the Sword Lords, and explore them, settle them, prepare them for occupation, really. And while most of those parties have been successful, one was not. And as a matter of neutrality, I was given the opportunity to pick a party of my own, should I so desire, that might be willing to venture into these lands on primarily their own behalf, to be honest, but mine as well, and therefore technically Brevoy, with the opportunity to claim them, settle them as you wish, have say and stake in what becomes of them. And to keep things fair, and because of my own personal word, I let luck decide, and you four are the ones that both have the opportunity and arrived.
We are practically nobodies. I don't think. I mean, I only know Sarah in here because we've ran into each other before. Don't you think something like this should be sent to. And she tries to find the words for it. And, like, she makes like, a
someone
couple
more
hand
capable.
gestures. Yes, more experienced. Not that I don't know any of your experience, though. And she kind of, like, taps her forehead a bit. Arcade tells me we're all have different types of businesses.
And I would argue that the other individuals that were sent have been. I see no reason to follow trends. Something more exciting. Let the unknown take hold.
Are you certain that they did not just get distracted by the gold there and never return?
Very. I attended their funerals.
What sort of dangers lie in the Stolen Lands, then? At least from what you would know.
All sorts, by the reports, though I will say the area that I have been granted stewardship, perhaps? Allowance over. The reports we did get that I've had access to have said primarily bandits are the problem. And we know that also based off the roads that travel west and east. And you're aware that there's, to the south, the border between Brevoy proper and these lands. There is a primary road, like a trade road and such, that people travel most frequently. And there are reports of banditry and stuff on there all the time.
So, what are of the other groups that were successful? Like, what were they? Like, what legions?
The initial 4 groups, including the one that was unsuccessful, were divided equally amongst the two factions, two chosen by the noble houses of Breadway, and two chosen by the Sword Lords of Rostov.
I've heard that it might have been fairies and not bandits. Were the ones who have gone before, did they have any experience working with that sort?
And like most in Breadway do not have experience with the descendants of the First World.
Oh, at least then I'll have an edge. And it just kind of smiled mysteriously.
What was that
and
other?
also smiles like.
What
Yeah,
was that
there's something
other?
about that.
What was that other group?
The
Oh,
nobles
Sword
and the
Lords?
sword lords.
Yeah.
Sword Lords, okay.
Yeah, and if we look at our come on, roll 20. Wakey wakey. Yeah, it's a little hard to see, but you guys are currently in New Stettin, which I will ping so you guys can see where that is. That is the capital.
Oh, that was not what I wanted.
There. That's where you guys are right now. Is New Stettin.
There we go.
And you can just barely see at the bottom here. It's lagging. But yeah, there at the bottom you can just see, yeah, that's Restov. And that kind of dotted line border is the road that we were mentioning.
Okay. And if I remember the descriptions correct, New Stetson's the one that has like the wooden roads and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I remembered something from months ago.
Yeah, that's why her house is all wood and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very wood here. Much wood. So wood, very wood. Because of the Gronzi forest, primarily.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
that big forest right there. Yes, you can see House Rogarvia lands are there in the south, which you are familiar with. House Rogarvia, all of you, as the completely disappeared, nobody knows what the hell happened to them family. That ruled for many years, and now they're just gone. Mystery. But
I have to ask if we attempt and are smarter than the ones that have passed and come back realizing it is too grand of a problem for even us, just in case, on the off chance, of course, will we still get any recompense?
Temptation.
Or at least attempting?
And she pulls out a rolled up scroll from like a little pouch at her side and reads it. Be it so known that the bearer of this charter has been charged by the Sword Lords of Restov, acting upon the greater good and authority vested within them by the office of the Regent of the Dragonscale Throne, has granted the right of exploration and travel within the wilderness region known as the Green Belt. Exploration should be limited to an area no further than 36 miles east and west, and 60 miles south of the trading post known as Oleg's Trading Post. The carrier of this charter should also strive against banditry and other unlawful behavior to be encountered. The punishment for unrepentant banditry remains, as always, execution by sword or rope. Still witnessed on this 24th day of Eridus, under the watchful eye of the Lordship of Restov, an authority granted by Lord Mileski Zertova, current regent of the Dragonscale Throne. And she rolls it back up. What that means in shorthand is, so far as any of them are concerned, and within reason, so am I, if you see bandits, stop them by any means necessary, and whatever you find, you get to keep.
So basically, we're allowed to kill bandits.
Of course.
And take the loot.
Yes. And keep it.
Anna starts to grin. She likes the sound of that.
Brava as a whole is suffering from overpopulation. As a whole, therefore, we are concerned with the lands themselves. And while if there are grand forests and such, we'd be interested in that. Within reason, any of the, shall we say, smaller contributions you may find will aid you in your quest at settling are entirely up to you and how to allocate them. So, anything you find, you keep. I would be interested to hear about any particularly interesting finds, such as things of historical or arcane interest. But even then, negotiations could be had upon ownership.
Would we be receiving any aid, or are we on our own? For instance, if we do set up a settlement within these lands, would we be able to request, at least for the starting time, whether it's food or some extra hands to help with building or keeping guard?
Moment, I would assume no. There are discussions, as none of the current charter holders have settled their regions enough to require such things, or at least request them. There are, however, discussions of should anyone settle them well enough that there might be additional aid.
How many charters exactly are there?
4, including this one.
Just the 4.
Just the 4.
Well, I'm all for it. It will be an adventure, and it'll be a way to explore some unknown lands, and maybe we'll find something interesting.
I am not opposed to going out as long as my sister's willing. I would not want to leave her behind.
We sounded silly.
Kana, stop staring at the lady. Did you want to go or not?
Of course! I can't help but look at a beauty.
Are you also going to behave? Well, I understand your eagerness to deal with the bandits. Let's not try picking fights we cannot win, nor blindly killing a
Sister,
man.
do you think I'm that stupid?
You want me to answer that?
I sipped my chocolate.
How many times this month have I gotten you out of some sort of brawl or another?
They're the ones that started it.
Ah, but you
You
have
must tell me
engaged.
about them later. I'd love to
I'm
hear
sure
about
if you
Pearl.
loop her up with enough alcohol, she'll gladly tell you all about it.
Noted.
Oh, you don't have to get me drunk to tell you all the stories I've been through.
But will it be more fun that way?
Yes.
I, of course, have no problem with going on this adventure. That was not my concern. My concern is more the ownership of the land, I suppose, but that's only something that we can see once we get there.
That. And she unrolls it again. And scoots her chair back to her desk and pulls out a quill from a little inkwell and signs it. Pushes it over to each of you to make it official.
Sakura will be the first one to pick up the pen and sign it. Before turning to her sister, you do know how to write your name, don't you?
Yes, I do know how to write my own name, smart mouthed.
She pats her on the top of the head.
And she's gonna swat her hand and then sign the contract.
And just before she lets go of it, I just use Mage Hand again and just sign it.
Yeah. I think Saren hesitates for a moment. Saren has some reservations. Actually, would they be able to kind of check the quill in the paper for any tampering? Would that be for any spell work? Would that be
For spell work, that's gonna be only spellcraft check, I would say,
Yeah.
which is a skill.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I
it's
think
same
before
thing,
signing.
We all just
Yeah.
now sold our souls.
Yeah, I got a 22.
Okay, with the 22, you can tell it is just
It's just
paper and
okay.
ink.
So I think
Yeah, if there is anything, it is so beyond you. But as far as you can tell, it
Cool.
appears to just be parchment and ink.
That's all they wanted. At that
Legally
point,
binding, not.
yeah, they very
mortally
quickly
binding.
sign then and are very happy to sign at that point. But they had
It's
their
very
concern.
fair. You're a bit fake yourself. You're very careful about deals.
Yeah, promises are a little tricky.
Is it that kind of out of character? I kind of want to see Arkai and Orin kind of dip their paws in ink and
Arkai
pat
is
next to it.
Yes, yes.
If you ask her, she will grab the inkwell and actually bring that over to you guys, and let you do it.
Yeah, I think what happens
Yay.
is like, of course, RK, you would get part of it too. Is it possible RK would like to sign? Meanwhile, RK's just rolling about.
Sakura is gonna look a little weird. Not like this creature wants to sign, but more of a concern of a dragon wants part of the land. Should we be worried about that?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's just a small little dragon.
If Archive's
Never
going to
come back
sign,
to bite you,
I'm
I
sure
promise.
you won't mind if Awen signs as well.
And she actually takes one of the saucers, she takes the saucer basically under from her cup, and actually pours a little ink into it so that way they can just dip their various appendage.
Yeah, I go and pick up RK because I know that they've overeaten and can't get back on the and help them.
Yeah.
It's like taking a fingerprint. You just kind of roll them.
Yeah, and I do the same with Awen. I just kind of use my giraffe. I just kind of tuck Awen under my arm. Just they're very small dinosaurs. I'm very small, and they are even smaller.
I have to keep forgetting that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tiny. Don't forget.
I keep thinking tall plant person, and it's not.
No, there's a booster seat.
I'm
up
like
there.
4 foot person.
There's like 4 or 5 books on the chair.
There really are. They've actually taken a stool and put it on top of the chair so that way you can just sit on the stool.
I am almost 4 foot tall. Thank you very much.
So if you sit in a regular person chair, it comes up to about here.
Yeah, let me
Nice.
just
Okay, let's just
Squeeze.
4, it'll be like 3. 3 books. There's 3 books on the chair.
Yeah.
yeah.
Imagine an excited toddler just stabbing a spoon into the bowl trying to figure out where the ice cream went.
Right. So yeah, then after that, I carefully wipe RK's paw because I don't want them to mess up this nice lady's house.
Yes, do not piddle in the corners, please.
Well then.
But she leaves it there to dry for a bit since now
Yeah.
there's on it.
Well then, I expect we should start fairly soon. Yes.
I would love if you could leave as soon as possible, but take all the time you need, of course.
Well, now that I know that we are what it is that we are meant to do, I would like to at least spend a day or two to prepare and gather resources and supplies and all manner of things, actually.
And
So-
sleep off this wonderful buffet we had, or work it off.
So, dear sister, you're implying that we're going to have a nice shopping spree.
Please be reasonable. We've only have so much savings. And I already plan on getting a horse and carriage to at least, carry the supplies in.
Oh, what is not a bandit wagon than a horse and wagon?
Then
Any
we'll
bandit
get
that
to do
decides
less
to
work.
mess with us will find themselves greatly haunting, and hopefully I can talk our way out of any situation, but we'll see.
it will be quite attractive to thieves, but if you don't mind, I would certainly like to put some of my gear inside. It's quite hard for me to carry too much
Oh,
with my small stature.
of course. I'm not the most inclined with strength. I can carry a good deal, but not. I mean, if you think about the armor and then, weapons and then food and then, just camping gear. Do you know how heavy all that would be? The cart would be, of course, for all of us to use.
I hardly use armor or weapons, but certainly the camping gear is heavy.
Which is why the cart would be open for all to use and to rest along the way.
I don't know what you two are going on about. Carrying things is not that bad, at least for me.
With as many times as you've been made to hold the buckets in the middle of the day, it's no wonder that carrying anything is of no difficult to you.
Kanna's gonna roll up her sleeve and just show off, like, how, like, she's toned for a little bit. For,
Yes, you are quite the specimen. You are very strong. Behave. Stop flirting.
I can't help it, it's in my nature.
I wish your nature would change. What would Mother think?
Well, but if that changed, what would be the fun in observing it all?
I like to imagine, unless anyone else has any questions, of course. I like to imagine our imaginary bird camera, apparently, just kind of zooms out as you guys are like, what? Well, what would be the fun of that? Well, then she would behave sometimes. Well, what? I behave. Kind of back and forth.
A sisterly
What's the fun
banter.
in being good?
Not dying.
And and with that, I think it's time to take our break, everybody.
Yeah, it's almost
Okay.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll come back. Do you guys want a 5 or a 10 then?
I'd say 10 so we can get some, like, snacks and some refills and
let's-
drinks and stuff.
Let's say we'll be back at 10 past. Just make
Okay.
it
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Not a problem. Easy to remember.
All right. And
See
we
y'all
will be back after the break. Stay tuned for next one.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah, still muted.
Oh. Those of you who have been in chat with me know that this is a very Neffy thing to do, is to come back and forget to unmute myself. I didn't think it would happen on stream.
This is the first time in a long time we've had to go, Neffy, you're muted.
Yeah.
Also, I'm very, very proud of myself of all the notes I'm taking right now.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, there it is. I put my sound mixer in because I was going to mute the desktop audio, and then I remembered, oh no, I can't do that. Because if I mute it, it's going to mute the music too. And I got really panicky because I came back and I saw myself talking, and I saw that my mic was muted on OBS. So I was there sitting thinking, oh no, I've been muted for these past 2 hours. Oh no.
We would have let you know.
Someone definitely would have.
Yeah. But then I remember I have a specific thing for the Yeti, so that when I put myself on my BRB breaks and I go and I switch to them, it automatically mutes the mic. Because I keep having an issue. I'm beginning to unmute myself when I come. I'm
and the
trash.
Blue Yeti picks up everything. I only use it on my Sunday stream because it's the only time I can get like 2 hours of quiet.
Yeah.
I love the Blue Yeti, but oh my god, it picks up so much.
Yeah, I know, but it's the only microphone I've got.
But alright, folks, and welcome back. We just, oh my god, you guys, we just had our break.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think we should, like, celebrate by having another one.
I mean, I could go out and get some more soda.
I mean, I just have to wait a few more minutes for food, and then I can just stuff my face.
But no, for real. Well, welcome back to Thanks for Playing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still with us, bravo. I mean, really.
I have noticed that we've had a few people come in during the break, so welcome.
Welcome to anyone who's here now.
Yes.
You missed us talking about food.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why all of us are hungry. I'm getting cookies after this.
I just finished eating cookies.
I'm gonna have cookies after this too, but right now I got cheesecake. With frosting.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm jealous now.
And I had like pumpkin cookies with white chocolate chips. It was good shit.
This is just a food stream.
Where are mine?
Yeah, but little did y'all know, when you were signing up for our Pathfinder, actually, food.
I got some cider.
Next campaign.
Stop.
That's the
Next
one.
campaign, we all just play as cooks. We're all in a culinary.
I mean, I absolutely am very pro everyone's a cook, but also what class are you? Because I want to know, like...
How do you cook?
I did back a D&D module thing on Kickstarter that has to do about like having cooking and like actual hedge witch kind of spell stuff. So, if I ever
like the Bard obviously is like the big like Emerald Lagasse style TV chef.
God, I haven't done Emerald in years.
Gordon Ramsay.
Is Emerald still even alive?
I believe so.
Like every any barbecue like pit master is like a barbarian or something.
Excellent.
Anyway,
I'm resisting the urge to sort through my Discord because if I switch off, you all see whatever I switch to.
You're doing so good, Daphne.
I'm trying.
Doing so well. Oh my god. So. With that in mind, let's see how well it goes for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 more hours.
A food talk.
No, I'm not. Okay, there might be more food, but it's gonna be a lot less food, you guys, I promise. So, onward and upward.
Yep.
You guys take the next couple days getting your various equipments. For those of you, watching, we kind of already did that pre-game.
Mm-hmm.
I let everyone know they would be leaving the city so they could do some shopping beforehand, since they are not used to it yet. Going forward, we'll do some of it on stream, some of it not. But at least for all their base stuff,
What
shopping takes forever.
What you need to know is we have a horse and a wagon.
Perfect.
The horse is not dying.
There is a personal legend. I've had a rogue player die every time a horse died. So, Jake, I know you're waiting to see how this goes down. We'll see, my dude.
Jay.
We're calling you out, bitch.
Calling you out, Jacober.
You will not let that same thing happen.
No, it's not gonna happen.
He's rooting one way. We'll see how it goes down.
I mean, the power of husbando is just like, no, we will not let this happen.
The power of husbando compels you.
Well,
He denies.
we just have to ensure that we have an NPC with us named Jake, if it ever happens.
We could name the horse Jake.
No, you need to name it after his character.
Oh yeah.
His character was named Yuri.
Yuri, come here, horsey.
Yeah, I'm good with
Nice
that.
horse name.
Short for Uranov.
Calling you out, Jake.
But
Anyway.
we love you. That's why we tease you.
Do
Oh.
I have any money? Yeah, I do still
Oh,
have some
Jake,
money
when was the
left.
last time you got called out by a friend live?
I
Give to you.
have 9 gold left and 5 silver. And I realized I probably should buy some more rations.
We have maple syrup. That's all we need.
There's some in your kit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like 10 days worth of
Yeah.
rations in the
You
kit.
could get
Trail
a little bit extra.
I
also
have
have money left.
part of my psychic scare. I have 5 days of trail rations.
Yeah.
On top of that.
I don't think we want to kill our characters via starvation.
No, we just ate up all our food at that.
We're just like
at that banquet.
crossing all these platforms.
Wait, I feel like I have less food than that. Why do I feel that way?
I mean, look at your sheet. Do you have less food than that?
Yeah.
Well, then I would
gear
assume
kit?
that you
What
do
gear
have
kit
less.
did you like? Cause I got the psychic scare kit.
I
So
got the witch's one, but I feel like it only has 5 days.
yeah, mine has 5 days. Trail
Oh, I
rations.
thought you said 10, and I was like...
Nephew said 10. They
Oh,
might
that'd be good.
It might, and this is why I say it's back to my roots. Because I know in 5e, when you get any sort of kit, it comes with 10 days of trail rations.
I just panicked for a minute, you know?
You're
I
good.
was like, wait.
You're good. On the one hand, you're going to be in a lovely forest with lots of wild animals to hunt. On the other hand, it's fucking winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up how much it is for rations, and I'm just gonna put the rest of my gold into rations. If I
Because
can
we
afford
don't want it to be like Oregon Trail. where
No.
we hunt and
No.
nothing.
Oh god, so they come onto the stream a week from now and it just says the party has died of dysentery.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
You're muted, Spelsy, if you're talking to us.
Fuck.
You're mad.
I pulled an epi. I was just saying there's like a gif from Oregon Trail.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a horse.
It's just the horse.
Just the horse looking very sad.
Where would we
Oh.
find rations?
I got
In
you.
the-
I spent all my money, exactly. Never mind. I think all my...
I think I had some left over. I just
I have 9 silver and 10 gold, but considering how I did account for like how much I thought the tattoo was going to be, but because I now want a more elaborate tattoo, that might be less than that. But no,
Okay.
the reason I brought it up was because I decided now that
There you go.
RK has a little like pet bed in the wagon.
Each day's worth of rations is 1 pound and is 5 silver pieces. And it's 10 silver to a gold, so with 9, you could get 18 days worth of rations.
Oh,
Okay.
Correct.
well... I'm just gonna go for it. It's fine.
Sure, it'll be
Awesome.
fine.
I feel like Popstar would be yelling at me right now if not.
I I'm just having flash.
It'll be
I
fine.
can't
I'm just
tell how
having
sarcastic it
flashbacks.
is.
I'm just having flashbacks to playing Ryutama, which is a really fantastic RPG, but you do have to pay attention to your rations and food and water because that is you assign a team member to take care of all that because you have to roll every single day to see how well or badly you lose your rations.
The reason why you can't tell how sarcastic it is because unlike most things where I can just be like, it'll be fine. Like we're used to playing, it really depends on what you guys do and how you roll. You might legitimately be fine. You might not.
And I thought about giving up my wind chime so that I could buy food instead, but I really want my wind chime.
I mean,
so
We can, worst case scenario, we can always forage and gather. Though it is winter.
yeah, but I'm like a plant, you know. I'm fine. Father's just.
I feel like this is gonna be bad trying to keep a plant alive during the
Well,
winter.
In theory,
Miss
it's
Kurt
fine.
only reply.
Oh.
Super helpful.
Also, for viewers to know, the armor I chose is rosewood armor, and the main thing about the rosewood armor is it's a suit of leather armor wrapped in special rose vines. Vines must be watered at least 1 gallon of water each day.
You're gonna get frozen!
Melt snow. That's easy.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were going to play in the snow, but yeah. Otherwise, it just turns into normal leather armor if that does happen.
What else left in the summer? Y'all are months behind. It's winter now. It's November. Whatever.
Figure it out.
You'll be fine. Just eat the snow and think happy thoughts. Try to ignore the brain freeze.
Just don't eat the yellow one.
Do not eat the yellow snow. Do not. You don't
Or-
know, Bird.
Or the green snow.
And yes, Eric, a gallon a day. They're thirsty.
Haven't you realized this of us?
Thirst must always play
them
into the game.
Them flowers.
What are the flowers, Eric?
You all thought that you were the thirsty ones. No, it's the flowers.
The flowers are.
Yeah, it's the flowers. It's not us. It's the flowers.
I'm a plant. I'm always thirsty.
I'm like the
Anyway.
least thirsty one here.
You probably
No,
should have
but
renamed
given in
this game
character,
Thank You for
It's
Thirsty.
ironic.
Yeah, the game should be renamed to Thank You for Being Thirsty.
Thank.
It's our nickname.
Thirst.
We're the Thirsty Bunch.
Thirst Squad. Alright. Anyway. Onward. Alright, so. You have been shopping, and I'm sure that went very well. By which I mean you have things now. Because no, you've spent money successfully. Well done, all of you. Welcome to capitalism, even in fantasy.
Oh boy, we got an achievement. We Twitch.
Achievement unlocked. Participated in capitalism. You've been given your directions. You have a rough map to the area, but you might have noticed by the fact that the area is uncharted that there's maybe not a lot of map for in the area. It's crazy. I know. You know.
So who wants to be the cartographer?
But, so there's that. But you've been given, you know, your directions, your map, so on and so forth, to the aforementioned in the charter, Oleg's trading post. Not gonna make you roll, this is a pretty common knowledge, that, you know, knowledge local kind of thing, that, Oleg's trading post is like the last gas station in the middle of nowhere. Hey, honey. You're on stream. But it's the last gas station on the left as you're heading out into the wilderness kind of thing. That, you know, if you want your Flamin' Hot Cheetos, this is it. And they're probably out. But, but it is a stop. And so,
How dare they now have Cheetos?
so you quite literally, it's the first time I've actually been able to use this phrase and mean it. Hitch your wagon and head off into the wilderness. I'm gonna need somebody, and you may all nominate who it is. This is gonna be your first group decision. To roll a percentile dice to see if anything happens.
Not I.
I'll do it if you want.
Who wants to do it?
I'll do it.
Who do?
Hey, let's go.
That could be either good or bad. I don't know.
It's
What'd you roll?
it's
28.
Yeah.
28? Alright. Alright.
I don't like that.
Are we gonna beat up some people already?
I don't like Pop Tart's face. I don't like where this is going.
Alright. Okay. Which tab is it? Oh my god, I have 43 tabs open. Why did I do this to myself? Here, Eric, I
Are you one
know.
of the ones that liked having multiple tabs open?
I am, but I have 43 of them for this game right now.
Oh my gosh, just for this game. I was about to say I finally got my tabs down to 39 because I don't have class tabs open anymore.
Oh my god.
Tee-hee.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, so,
Did I make a new friend?
you do not. Because though it is crisp and cold and bright, you do not encounter anything this day. Your day is smooth travels. You manage to wind your way along the road. You keep a careful watch. You get to talk to each other if you want. But it's a nice, calm day.
More playful banter.
Playful banter if you so desire. Look at you. You avoided thing.
The only time the dice will be nice to us.
Probably.
I am very surprised by
Neffy, you
this is gonna be a good game. We're not gonna die. I'm rolling okay.
I think
The dice are gonna betray me at one point, and I'm going to cry.
but we can always say that we had this, you know?
Yes.
You had this moment.
We have
This one day.
moment.
This one day.
And
I
then
think
if Neffy rolls again and something happens, she's done rolling.
Alright. That's your first day of travel. It's going to take you about 2 days to get there because you are traveling on a main road.
Mhm.
I will say that along this way, I will have pulled out. I bought stationery and I haven't bought an ink, so I will be jotting down roughly like things that I'm seeing,
Okay.
things that I'm noticing because of like my nature and what I've experienced.
Mhm.
Very much is the plant life, the vegetation. Maybe would point out everything that people think should be pointed out, but it would be a rough, idea of like where we have come so far.
You're going to be able to observe so many snow-covered grasses.
Yep, that's exactly it.
This is
You
like
can
a
see
plains
some-
area. There are so many occasionally you get
Look at
very
all this
excited because you think
snow.
it's a shrub, and
Yeah.
it turns out no, it's actually just a snow-covered rock.
Trying to like gauge the distance as I look to see how far the
You
grass
pelt
is
it with a
grown.
snowball and it's a rock.
Damn it,
Like a
I
little
thought it
tick
was
mark.
like
There's like 12 of them in a row.
Yeah,
All the rocks you hit.
exactly.
What?
Ah,
So there's Rock 280 something.
yeah.
Keeping a tally of that.
While we're traveling, would I be able to keep an eye out to see what the landscape is like as far as like foraging and like are there a lot of wild animals around like rabbits or fowl that we could
Make a. Are you looking to actually be scavenging right now, or is it more just like seeing your prospects?
seeing our prospects mostly like if there's berries or
Okay.
berries around like I'll gather them but I'm not looking to scavenge.
Can I help her with that or no?
Okay. So how does Person Pathfinder? Alright, since you are just looking for prospects at current, to gather would be a different role.
Right.
So, that's a different skill. Survival is what you use for, like, tracks and actually getting the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What you're looking at right now is a knowledge nature, mostly for identifying. And to aid her, you need to roll a d20, and if you roll above a 10, then you have successfully aided her.
Okay.
Am I able to roll knowledge nature if I don't have it trained, though?
I got it trained.
You can ask her if she would like to do it instead.
You can ask her instead of mine.
You could be like Plant Lady.
Well, what I think
You
would
would
be
ask your sister
more,
first, yeah.
what I think I would be asking, not specifically to Seren, but to everybody, keep an eye out for, berries, fruits, vegetables, stuff that we can gather along the road, animals that we might be able to hunt, just to see, if this is the last town, how much we'll have to gather for food to make sure that we don't, starve out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of winter.
I will, because this is another thing to keep in mind, that because you are, I would say that, you can also take 10 or take 20. Now, for aid, you still have to roll. If you are not in any immediate danger or anything, like there's nothing pressing on you, you can take a 10. In this case, because you guys are just like traveling and like chilling, you can take a 20. And you can just take it and you're like, hey, it's a 20 plus your bonus. And that's what you have. You don't even have to roll. For the whole skill rated stuff, you can roll knowledge nature without the training. The training, just if you have a rank in it and you're trained in it, that's what gives you that +3.
Okay.
So, if I'm answering all things correctly, she says optimistically, I haven't said that either. Like over here. It's been a while.
We trust it.
But that's how we're gonna. I know that part's true. There may be some additional stuff. We're just gonna roll with that for right now. So you guys are free at current to take 10 or 20, depending on how your character feels. If you feel like you need to watch out for dangers, or if you're feeling pretty like good. But yeah, today, because you're in no danger or anything, and I've already kind of given you an overview that no encounters today, then you could go ahead and take a 20.
Or just vibing.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. But yeah, to aid, you still have to roll, and it's still 10 or higher, and you aid. The training and stuff doesn't help with that. It's literally just, did you roll above a 10?
I pretty much just tell Arcade to watch out for the things that she asks for us to watch out, and I'm just like, I'm just enjoying myself.
If I'm allowed to take a 20, then it will be a 21 for me. And it's just because I have a 1 in intelligence.
Yeah, with 21, this is like just outside the city, so you're not seeing a lot of gatherables at the moment. Because any that have probably been gathered by the people on the outskirts. Especially with that overpopulation Vellara mentioned. But the lands here are fertile.
Okay.
They could grow things. It's just they don't have a lot of growth right now.
Oh, it's winter. Everything's sleeping.
Right. As for animals and stuff, again, you don't see a lot. But you do see some winter birds. You see some, winter rabbits, that sort of thing. Most animals are going to be, hidden away, especially in the daytime like this, near the road. But you will see spats here and there of some snowbirds and stuff. You'd have the opportunity. You wouldn't starve. It would be lean eating, but you wouldn't starve.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah. She'll store that information away so that, she'll adjust and ration. Maybe she'll eat a little less than a day's worth, so that maybe like every 3 days she would have an extra day's worth of ration, sort of like stretch it out a little, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
she'll figure a way to make it last.
I think like within the first, because this is taking over the first few days, right? Like this part. You'll notice that like unless you all decide to sit down and like have a meal, Ami will forget to eat. Like she'll totally constantly be like, "RK, time to nibble on something," but for herself, like she won't like. But she'll. The only thing you'll see her is that she'll constantly be drinking tea, and she'll always take the first watch. If we're doing watches, if anyone's that paranoid, but yeah.
Other than looking out for, the day, she's. I'm imagining a wagon is just like you there wouldn't be like a seat for you to drive it. It's just like the open back of the wagon, right?
Let me double check real quick. What type of wagon did you get? Light, medium, or heavy?
I think it's light. It was the cheapest one.
Okay, yeah, that's light then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really seats.
Right. So she would be ahead of the horse, petting its muzzle and just leading it ahead by the reins. Trying to give a good, pace that they're not really dawdling, but they're not like pushing themselves either.
If you are going to be the one leading, I'm going to need either a handle animal, diplomacy, or... oh, no, they're... Well, are they intelligent? Let me double check horses real quick.
It is, if it helps, a light combat trained horse.
Okay, I believe that counts as... That's an advanced horse, so...
I just realized I don't have handle animal.
I don't have handle animal either.
Oh my goodness.
How much trouble am I in?
We're about to find out.
Diplomacy?
Light combat trained horse.
I don't have diplomacy.
Oh, I have diplomacy.
Good.
Negotiate with it.
Though,
Okay, so it's just based off the horse. Okay, that's what I need to know. Based off the regular horse. Cool. Oh no, they're not intelligent. So, yeah, so it's a handle animal check.
and I have to roll it?
As far as I know, yeah.
You're leading the horse.
Yeah, you're actively
Touching
leading
the
it,
horse.
so. Yeah, this one,
No.
Ooh, it's a
If
7.
if I see her starting to have trouble, could I take over?
you can, but because she failed the check, it is going to be a slightly higher DC.
Okay.
Just for reference.
Okay, that's fine.
Go for it.
It's a D20 plus the total
Handle
number.
animal, or the associated ability score, yeah. Bonus, I mean.
Oh, where to go? Fuck. Underneath the laptop.
But it's a natural 20, of course.
Wow.
It is a 1, 2, 6, 14.
Teen will def do it. So,
I saved it.
so Sakura's like, yeah, I got this, and the horse is like, it's fucking cold, y'all. I'm a horse, and it's cold. Hi, I'm a horse, and it's cold, and I don't like it. And then Connor's just like, come on, horse. I know.
I know, it's cold. It's okay, baby.
It's okay, baby, I feel you. And the horse is like, she feels me.
Apparently, the brute sister has more like the horse.
Will admit, Sakura is a bit jealous that her horse that she's, you know, being nice to. Mm-hmm.
Just gonna throw this out there. It's not like they're not both combat trained. They have a bond.
But it's my horse.
But they're both combat trained.
Like
The horse is like,
in his favor.
horse is like, you lift heavy objects too, huh? I can get you.
But I feed it carrots.
yeah, just
and
because you give it
apples.
treats doesn't.
But see, the thing is, there's like a bro thing going on here. That's all. Like you're the nice lady, but like this is a bro situation. Bruh.
Tiny bit jealous.
Oh, Disney princess dreams already cracking. Alright, now you're gonna be a Disney villain.
No.
All because the horsey didn't like you. Villain origin story.
The horse didn't like me. That's how I became like this.
If the horse had just liked me, none of this would have happened. But no,
Soccer becomes
my
the
sister.
Soccer becomes the new big bad evil guy.
No, it's the princess. The dress, she's like, I don't like this.
It's just too heavy.
All these birds.
Get away.
I said.
So who wants to roll for day 2?
I'll do it.
Roll, okay. Roll.
What am I rolling with?
If
rolling
you're
percentile.
yes.
I don't really do that.
So,
Are you
do
watching
100.
stream?
Thank you. Yeah, I just didn't know what to type.
Okay.
Yeah, roll a D100.
I got a 72.
72? That's like the opposite end.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
just like
my
Savage
numbers but
World.
reversed.
You want lower?
I'm waiting for that metal dice thump.
Random encounter table.
Oh my god.
If you look at that, this is the start of our day, correct?
Yeah.
Perhaps the perfect time for me to commune with my familiar. As we get up in the morning.
Where's that metal dice
Oh.
at? Where's that metal
I'm
dice
afraid of
at?
her statement.
So, I don't need the metal dice for this one.
Oh.
So, as you're driving along the road, again, the weather is chilly. There's some snowfall. Enough that it obscures your vision far out, but you're not by any means blinded. It's just a nice, steady snowfall. Roll perception checks. Everyone.
I think I'm good at that. I think.
I don't have to roll the dice. You have
Oh wait,
to
no,
roll the
no,
dice.
I'm not. Never mind.
Everyone's like, I'm good
afraid
at
to
this
hit
now.
the button.
Okay.
I shot that. Oh, better than I thought. 18 from me.
I got an 8.
I got 13.
5. Okay. So, Ami, you're the only one who notices.
Ooh.
Look at you. You see, probably maybe 60 feet ahead, give or take. A little ways ahead. Just a lone figure walking down the road. Just a single dude.
Okay, dude.
He's kind of hunched over. It's hard to get a feel on like exactly how big he is, but he doesn't look abnormally big or anything. He just looks like a dude like hunched over, has like a bag of like slung over his shoulder. Just looks like a traveler.
Okay, kill. No. Yeah, it'd be kind of funny just to see the shoulder.
Totally won't have repercussions if we just kill him right
Since
now.
start rolling him now, he'll literally snowball.
That would be awesome. I'm not gonna do that. Not yet. So I think like, yeah, Ami just turns and looks at the others. So, do any of you know how common it is to come across other people on this road? Because there's someone down the ways a bit. I don't get to travel much on the roads. I don't know what the standard. Are we supposed to wave and say hello?
Oh, I mean, that would be polite. A nice hello.
But those was kind of suspicious that there's just a person in the middle of nowhere.
I mean,
talk to them.
they could be traveling just like we are. Just because
They
they're
could also be
alone doesn't
abandoned.
mean.
Either way, we'll find out. If they're abandoned, they'll certainly come after us, and if they're not, then our conversation will be no problem.
Should I send Arcade over? Though they might be afraid because it is a dragon after all.
Maybe
we can just say hello to them as we pass. See if they're okay.
Should
You know.
perhaps one or two of us approach without our lovely horse and wagon?
I mean,
I will go if someone goes with me.
I'll go with you. I don't trust you on your own.
Yeah, that's when Kana decides to lean back into the wagon and pull out her Tetsubo.
No.
Why? What if we need it?
Then you can
I
use my
promise to hide it
rapier.
behind my back, and then you just see
No.
like her tail just start to wrap around the bat.
No. You'll scare them if they're... What if they're just an innocent traveler along the road, and you come up with your stupid spiked bat? They're gonna think you're a bandit. Leave it here. There are other things that we could use.
Well, then
If
she's
it's...
slightly adjust her garment. Then be like, okay, lead the way, dear sister.
Exactly. And she'll start heading up a bit ahead.
And Kana follows behind.
Good morning, dear sir. You're out here quite alone, I see. Are you heading towards Restov? Doesn't respond?
Just says, I am, and leaves it at that. Like, it's not...
Okay.
Is there a way
Wait.
that I could just like...
Can I sense motive them? Am I close
Yeah.
enough to do that, or?
Absolutely. You may both sense motive. Cool.
My good rolls are already gone. Though if they are a thief or a bandit, I get a 10.
Alright.
I got 13.
He seems short with you, but just in a brusque, it's cold, I just want to keep walking kind of way. Doesn't seem to be interested in convo or much of anything else.
Alright, then let's just go.
If you're on your way to Rostov, we're on our way there as well. We have a carriage if you'd like to lighten your burden.
You are not on your way to Rostov.
Oh, we're not? Where are we? I
You're
thought we
headed
were...
to the stolen- You're headed to the stolen lands.
Yeah, we're going to the store. And
Yeah,
then
but I thought we
we're
were going...
already-
I thought that we were going through Rostov. Down. Or...
No.
oh, okay. Sorry.
No.
You can just head right straight. There's a little side road. The main road you're on does go to Rostov,
Okay.
but it's off the path. It's not the same direction y'all are headed, because it's more to the east. If you're like looking at the map,
Okay.
it's more to the east. Y'all are headed more south.
Gotcha.
When the older sibling has already forgotten where we were going.
No, because I thought that there was like another like city or something that we were gonna pass through before we went into like the wilds. And
Yeah,
the
that's
rest
the-
of
the main road you're
Bizarre.
taking kind of snakes down, and it does kind of Y. It's sort of a weird like triangular shape. That branch goes to Rostov, but so does this one.
Mhm.
But this one goes down the direction y'all are headed.
Gotcha. So that was
So
just
you can technically go to Rostov. It's just an extra trip,
No.
basically.
no, that's fine. I assumed because that was the only other city I saw on the map that.
Yeah. No, there's some small like little settlements along the way, but like they're little bitty.
Itty bitty. Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, he just seems like he's cold, honestly, and interested in going that way.
Well, safe travels to you, sir. Stay warm.
So I want to do a thing that psychics gets to do. Because why not? We're out of the city. Won't get in trouble. Can I
Okay.
try to detect psychic significance since he's
Psychic
around?
significance is usually used on like objects and such.
Oh, okay. Would there be
That
something similar-ish? Like,
detect thoughts would be your best bet in for people.
okay.
But yeah, psychic significance is mostly for like it's
Okay,
kind
yeah.
of like when you see like the ghost shows and stuff, and like they'll pick up an object and try to figure out like a memory attached to it or a feeling. That's more the
Right.
psychic significance kind of feel.
Okay, that's good to know.
More of an
Yeah,
input.
and I don't have detect thoughts, so okay,
Okay,
cool.
then.
I'm good. I'm
Okay.
just like watching this exchange from afar, and then like just like randomly saying to Arca, "Yeah, I think that's what they're talking about." No, I don't think he likes her.
Yeah,
Saran is just
I was
hearing me
double
just
checking it, but
constantly
yeah,
talking
it's
to her.
for you detect the presence of psychically significant items in your vicinity.
Okay,
So imprints or history, that sort of thing.
awesome. Okay.
So you can detect it, but you don't find anything. But he just kisses you too, and just keeps trudging his way along. Like kind of gives a side glance to the wagon, like just the people in the wagon
Mm.
as he goes by, and just kind of
They're in waves. Like this.
Just a hi.
Sarah knows that they're a sight, not commonly seen. I'm sure
he's like,
many of them understand that.
When they, cause we'll kind of slow our pace to let them catch up to us. As we do that, Sakura's gonna turn to Kana. Now see, you would have scared that man half to death if you came barging down the road with that spiked bat of yours.
Oh, excuse me for wanting to use my toy.
You can't use your toys on innocent people.
He could not. He could have not been innocent either.
Still on the same road as us.
Yeah, but we're far ahead that she's chastising her sister. Not like yelling at her sister, I guess I could say.
She's used to the chastising. She's got it for years.
I'm very good at chastising my sister. She's a troublemaker, but I love her.
Well, she didn't cause any trouble yet, so has Arcade
Oh.
anything else yet?
I have a laundry list of grievances of the trouble that she's gotten to in the past.
Arcade thinks that was just a boring stranger.
Well,
yeah,
Not quite tasty.
it was for you guys.
Arcade, you're too young to start eating people. That's when you become big
Let's-
dragon.
Let's not eat people ever. There are much more tastier things in the world. Like sheep and chicken and cows and pigs and all manner of things that are... No, we're not eating the horse either.
why is everyone so obsessed with meat?
Because not all of us can get our nutrition plan.
Well, you can.
Not all of it.
Some of us require much more protein than can be achieved through the means of
suppose.
beans and...
Is that drinking chocolate? Would that be considered plant or meat?
Well, it's from a bean, is it not?
I'd
I
say
don't know.
neither.
It's processed. Well, I guess there is.
Marshmallow is technically a plant.
I
There you
think
go.
it falls into both categories. If you
Maybe
want
we
to
should
be
be-
technical about it.
Well, I love that we're on this conversation of chocolate and see whether it's.
I miss it.
It's
It's
the first.
so
It's
good.
the only time I've ever had chocolate.
I've never had this marshmallow.
The marshmallow was the
So that's
white
cannibalism if
flower.
you eat plants.
Oh, I'm not actually a plant.
Oh,
I'm sort of a plant. I'm half plant.
Oh, I mean, some fish eat other fish.
I don't eat.
Can you eat fish?
I can't eat anything. I am born of a plant, but I am not a plant. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Oh, I didn't mean it quite like that. I just mean that the notion of a plant eating another plant isn't necessarily cannibalism, because there are fish who eat other fish, and that's not cannibalism. It's just part of the food chain.
There are many plants that can digest the parts of other plants.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I guess it makes sense.
Plumtart is dying right now.
Yeah.
Plant cannibalism. This is the best day ever.
You knew what you were getting into when you formed this party.
Dear Husbando, we discussed plant cannibalism. I'm gonna say plant capitalism. That's
Aaron really doesn't like the idea of like thinking of eating.
I just love how dismissive Saren is of Ami, and Ami has no idea.
Saren, I'm seeing Sarah now, and like a look into her head, and she's like holding up a carrot stick, and she's like.
And I think, I think with like the whole like you mentioning that you came from a plant, but you're not a plant. Yes, like I came from my family, but I'm not of that family.
Okay, now we're getting into something that's totally different now, I feel.
I could see the similarity, perhaps, but I'm sure your story is far more interesting.
So if only I can remember
they
it all.
literally took Saren from the Cabbage Patch.
He's a Cabbage Patch Kid.
That's how babies work. Yeah, have you met Kathleen?
Born as a teenager, I wasn't even a baby.
That just means you missed the good years.
I think in response
That's a big ass cabbage.
It's a big ass whiny cabbage.
I think in response to Ari, Sarah would say something like, well, if there's anyone who is good at discovering a good story, I think it would be I.
And Ami
Your
just
story,
nods.
I mean.
Well, we have plenty of time to learn of each other's, and she'll like look back at the two bickering sisters. And it's like, of each other's. I doubt conquering lands will take so little time.
Oh yes, we have plenty of land to conquer.
For a moment there, I don't think that you were quite talking about land. This is going to be a very long trip. I can already feel it.
Maybe instead of spending
your sister, and then like she just kind of wraps her arms around her sister and just like, you love me. Just like
And that is the only reason why I haven't murdered you yet.
You love me too much to murder me. Your life would be so boring without.
Oh yes, I could be at home cooking food and not having to deal with your shenanigans. But here we are, and I must admit I do enjoy the travel. Though, again, this is going to be a very long trip. I can already feel it.
Bright side, we get to see the faces and possibly make our own city.
It would be nice to see something grow from something we made with our own hands. Which, if we do get a chance, what sort of place would we build? And she kind of looks around at everybody as she says that. I know I, for one, would want it to be a place welcoming to all who would want to live and grow and prosper in peace. A place that looks after one another. A place where kindness is shown as strength and not weakness. You might be a bit naive for that sort of want or dream, but would like to at least try.
I think that sounds lovely. I just know I want a place to train RK some more. I fear the rest off and the villages nearby aren't no place for a growing dragon, you know.
Well, I for one prefer not to stay in one place, but I suppose visiting a town like the one you described would always be a place I'd be willing to see again.
I know I, for one, would love a place to enjoy the pleasures of life. Really. So,
It is so interesting how creatures of this world enjoy pleasures, as you say, so constantly,
oh yes, it's very
so
nice.
indiscriminately.
Yes. That's how we get the most enjoyment.
I have to agree. It's no fun if you limit yourself.
Judgment, don't mistake me.
There's no fun at all if limiting oneself.
I beg to differ. I
Well,
mean,
you
there
don't
is.
seem to share that enjoyment of pleasure. I do.
Perhaps, but that's because I'm hoping to one day have a family of my own to grow like we would a city. But I don't find the fleeting moments of romance like that enjoyable. I'd rather have something with deeper roots and longer lasting.
It's hard to find anyone worth creating deeper roots with. I've yet found
Glazed
anybody.
over. Saren is out of this conversation.
I've yet to find anyone who doesn't hold certain secrets behind, and they don't interest me.
No person has caught my interest enough to stay with them long enough for that.
And no one has caught my interest either, but that doesn't mean that I go out looking for fleeting pleasures. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it either, but that's not what I'm interested in.
Well, you can keep your own nice, happy little land of flowers and rainbows while I have my own red district. Thank you.
I presume we'll at least have to have a road in between.
I'm sure that there can be some compromise. I mean, there are many people who enjoy different things. Case in point.
Oh, I would like to have a library.
A library would be lovely.
Filled with books from outside of here. I've found, at least in the some places I've been able to go to, that there isn't much information of my kind.
Well, if we can't find anything to fill the library with of your kind specifically, perhaps we can have you write a bit about your kind.
I would love to if I. And they kind of just look off in a distance, like maybe where RK is rolling about. And they just get this very, and I think probably Seren's seen this once or twice before, this glazed look on their face, and unfortunately I don't remember anything. I know what I am, and I know that means I'm not from here. But that's all I know.
You don't remember?
No, I just know of my family who, and she does a head tilt and looks a little more serious than you've seen her in the past few days. My family's the one that raised me, but again pointing to Saren, they're not. I'm not of them. She is not. They are not of plant.
I think that it's just because you can't remember right now doesn't mean that you won't ever learn anything about it.
The reasons I've decided to be part of this group. But I don't have very much interest in settling either and creating a land of my own. But I figure I could leverage it somehow, or maybe we'll find people who will know more. If these are the stolen, undiscovered lands, then there's undiscovered people and knowledge.
That would
people here.
That would be something interesting to have a land that people can share ideals and information with. I'm sure that we could find more information for you. Given time, and maybe in the future when things have settled and we have made a name for ourselves, others will come to us and want to share information, and surely somebody somewhere knows more about your people.
Exactly.
In the meantime, if they will not share information, we'll just share their beds.
Yes.
Now I like the sound of that.
Theron's way of changing the subject.
You all can share your beds. Mine will be reserved.
Just imagining a little reserved sign now.
That's what I was just thinking.
You too.
All right, who's rolling for the next day?
I will say that when we do settle down every night, it would be Sakura who would like prepare like either a stew or something using the supplies that they have.
I mean, you have frozen water and you have jerky.
Well, I mean, I could melt the water in a pot. And
That's what I'm saying. If you've got frozen water and jerky, you can make soup.
Yep. Broth
You
stew.
have bread. Hard tack, but you have bread.
We have dense bread.
Kind of like a French onion sort of deal.
This is a game question.
Yeah.
It's safe to assume, unless something occurs that would inflict with this, Theron is going to bed every night and then in the morning communing with her familiar. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of hand wave that I assume that you do that each morning.
That's what I was. Yeah, I just want to make sure. So unless something obviously is happening that would interfere.
Yeah, there will be some times where I'm like, hey, did you make time for this? Because something. Or hey, while you're doing that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise, you're pretty safe to assume that unless I say otherwise, I just, yes.
Cool. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem.
So I can roll the percentile die now?
Do it.
47.
47.
Middle of the road.
The amount of tabs that
Clicky clacky
She
dice.
I
Oh, what was it?
reorganize them slightly. It's okay.
Clicky clacky math dice? Or math stones? I don't know what the terminology is.
So yeah, like
Clicky clacky math rocks.
That's what it is.
Aubrey always insists on taking like first watch, and then like it always seems like she takes a lot into like getting out of bed, like waking up in the morning. Like there's always like a lot of extra rustling in her tent for whatever reason. You guys don't know yet.
If it happens,
What does that look to you?
if it happens a lot that she's like late for waking up, Sakura would offer her to, sleep in the back of the wagon if she wanted. That way, she could rest in the morning a bit longer as we pull out.
Yeah, she would politely decline that offer for. She has her reasons.
Okay.
But yeah, she would politely like thank you, but this is just I'm a night person, as you can say.
I can understand that.
What do we have to roll?
You don't.
Oh, yeah.
Well, kind
Okay.
of.
Does RK have to roll?
Maybe. I'm gonna need perception. There we go. The other perception checks from everybody who's paying attention.
I got a 4.
I
You
got
don't
an
notice
8.
it.
I got a 2.
We really are the dumb children.
Nice sweet summer children.
Oh my
And-
god, I got a 6.
Y'all
On-
don't notice shit.
Pick her up, please.
On the bright side, I rolled the highest. On the downside, I rolled an 8.
Wait, but you get.
Wait, what was the conversation next?
As the highest roll in the group,
No, you put the other one.
Road and Snow. For the rest of you. Oh.
Oh, look at this white shit in the air.
What's this?
I'm testing the winds and like flying a little bit every few seconds.
Whoa.
Distracted by watching you fly.
I'm just like too distracted, just swinging my Katsuba around like I'm an idiot.
Yeah. And I just tell her, RK, one day you'll be able to fly just as well. Patience. I'm so used to good society and being like, I want to throw Kay a monologue token.
I'm just so glad this isn't yesterday. So,
What is... Oh, shit.
how do I want to do this? Okay.
Thank you, Cece.
Hail and well
Oh, I can
met
actually show. I have water.
from further down the road.
Oh.
And you see this like bulky outline. It's a short dude, but it's like this bulky outline crunching through the snow.
Shorter than Saren?
3'10".
I don't think so.
It's just
Hello.
Let's call it.
Anyway,
it's just
he's dwarven.
Okay. Yeah, we're about the same height then.
Yeah, usually dwarves are at least like 4 something.
Yeah. I'm the tallest a tiny person can be.
Is your
Apparently
kitty
the kitty-
giving you sass?
No, my dog was. She's like, let me tell you about forfeit. And I was like, no, she did. Not what I said. But anyway, you realize that why he looks so bulky and misshapen as he crunches up in the snow to you is he's like draped with furs and has this like big grizzled like. You know the weird spider dude from Spirited Away, the old man.
Oh,
with the
yes,
big
yes.
Yeah,
that's the
Comanche. I love
face.
him. I love
That's the
Comanche.
face. But now put it on the little dwarf man, just like a Barbie doll, and just boop. Cover it in furs so you can't actually see any form. And that's the dude that has called out to you, including
Oh.
the glasses.
I never thought I'd ever see a walking furball before.
Hello, kind sir. How is your travels taking you today? Trying to, like, interrupt to, like, detract.
There's like a brief moment of like, oh, so far so good. Just headed over to drop off the wares.
What kind of wares are you dropping off, if I can ask?
I would imagine it would be furs.
You're
I
a
still
smart
have-
one.
Ah,
Are you fine, folk?
We're heading farther down south.
Detailed, I like it.
There's no particular place specifically with a name to give.
just some friends exploring together, you understand?
Oh gosh. I think
You're
she's
gonna
she's
real
smart.
quick. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to roll a bluff. 'Cause that is a lie.
Wait, but
Yeah.
there's not like a city or anything that we're going to.
There is a specific location that you were given in the charter you're
Oh,
headed
no.
to.
Oh.
Oleg's trading
But-
post.
Oh.
Oleg's trading post. I was
Then
trying to...
I will mention
I will
that.
allow you to retcon this time.
Wait, don't mention it! Don't retcon it!
I'm saying I will allow you to if you so desire, you can instead
retcon it
of saying nowhere in particular and completely bullshitting, I will allow you to say no. We're headed to this place if you would like. Or would you prefer to just not say anything?
She would mention that it's a trading post down south that they're heading to, hopeful to stock up on some more supplies before continuing their exploration.
So,
Trading
that
post
was,
that way.
so as I was gonna say, kind of like not thinking, like, oh, we should be discreet. It's like, yeah, we were told, and she kind of mimics the way Lady Vellara mimics her voice a bit. It's like, there's gold in them thar hills.
Socorro will kind of turn and look to her, but we're not going for any gold.
Well, we're not gonna mine it.
Anyway, if you're headed down for Oleg's, that's where you're headed, right?
Yes.
All right, there you go. If you're headed down to Oleg's, you don't want to be following this path.
What's wrong with this path?
Probably
We
the
met you.
bandits.
There's some untoward behavior that happens on that path, Missy.
The bandits.
Among other things.
But
Not
I thought we
everyone
wanted-
is as honorable and forthright as me.
But I thought we wanted to meet the bandits.
My sister wants to meet the bandits. I'm assuming Kana's just kind of taking a nap in the back.
I was gonna say, she's like dozing and just...
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, who are you to help us so graciously?
Also headed to Oleg's.
Oh,
He
I
came
think
behind
we
us or in front of
perceived-
us?
We didn't perceive
It
so
kind of
well,
came
so
from
we
the
don't.
side.
Oh, well. Then we shall walk together.
you're like, what are you doing?
I mean, if we're both headed that way.
Sarah's not very trusting of strangers.
I got that impression somehow. I don't know how. But I just felt like maybe.
Maybe. Would you like some cheese?
I never turn down cheese.
And I think she'll go into her sack and pull out
May
like
I
half a wedge.
DM attempt a sense motive upon this gentle creature that has offered us some assistance in finding paths?
You may.
Okay. Anyone want to take a bet on if the dice are going to,
You're gonna kill it in the best way.
Yeah, I don't have faith in that. Oh no, you're right.
25. She got.
He seems very perplexed by the lot of you.
Like most are.
Is pretty sure you're fucking lost. In the sense of you know where you're going, but you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
But he's at least
He's
legit in the sense
okay.
he is actually guiding you to Olex.
Okay.
The other stuff is your bonus because you rolled so high. But he's pretty sure y'all are lost in the sense of guidance. You poor sweet summer children.
We're four unassuming ladies traveling all by ourselves to the middle of the most savage parts of the land.
Sorry.
She will turn after getting a feel for him. Well, if you would like to show us these better ways to get to our destination with as little difficulty as possible, I could offer you a ride in the carriage, or at least the wagon to store your wares. I assure you we won't touch them, but if it will help lighten your load, it's the very least that we could do. And share in any game or meals that we might have, though we have allotted only enough food for ourselves, but we're happy to share what we have. At least I am.
Cheese. For his stature, I think that should be enough, right?
You're only a couple hours from the trading post, but I will gladly hitch a ride. And he toddles over and sits on the wagon with his little legs under the furs.
Yeah, and Ami goes, "Mind the dragon."
Dragon?
The dinosaur.
Dinosaur? The confusion and convincing that you guys are fucking lost has only increased. Also now genuine concern that you may in fact be crazy. And now he's in your wagon.
I am sorry for those two. You must think they are crazy.
No. You see weird shit out here.
It's the winter air. It's getting to him. It's okay. She's totally playing it off like you're crazy.
Brain freeze does funny things to fellas and ladies and
non-fellas.
people and not fellas and y'all.
Just trying not to laugh.
Rhetorical, y'all.
So, curious, how much would it be to buy one of your furs?
Well, I'd love to sell it direct, but I do have a trade agreement with Oleg, so you'll have to go through him. Most of us do around these parts. He treats us fair.
Could you tell me more about the trading post we're about to...
Sorry, what?
Could you tell us more about the trading post that...
It's small. It's, used to be an abandoned fort or something. Oleg and his wife have only been out here less than a year. But, they've done well by the place. He's a grump. Don't take it personal.
Kana, don't start fights.
His wife,
You
though,
assume.
his wife's a firecracker.
Kana,
Oh, God.
don't start fights.
The goal that you think I would start a fight.
I know you.
What? Can I ask your name, sir?
Oh, yes, of course. My apologies. Edursk. That's a EDDURSK. And common tongue, I guess, is Flat Blaze. Just call me Ed. Most people do. When I see them. Which is not often. Except for Oleg. Lana makes a good pie, though.
Lana?
Svetlana, his wife. She tries to keep pie around for us, knowing, taste of home and all that.
Are they fruit
Not a lot
pies?
of families out this way.
Are they fruit pies or other sorts of pies?
Oh, all sorts. She tries to have a bit of everything. Never know what you'll get, but except it's good.
Well,
Always know
hopefully...
you'll have coffee, a warm place by the fire, and a slice of homemade pie.
Sounds very warm and inviting.
As long as you don't upset her.
Kana, best behavior.
Excuse me. I don't appreciate the pointed looks.
Oh, you'll know if you upset her. She'll get that look in her eye. Like when your mama's upset with you and you've done, you I
This
don't know, broke a
look.
vase or something.
This look,
Except
Kana.
meaner.
I will try to behave. Is that enough for you?
And then she usually says something like, "Oh, really?" And then she goes inside. And if she comes back out with a sword, you best leave. Just go. Don't come back.
She sounds like a lovely woman. I can't wait to meet her.
Only done it twice that I know of.
Kana? No flirting either. She's
I would
married.
never. I would
Completely.
never.
Ah, it's okay. She's good about it. Oh, like doesn't seem to mind too much.
Oh, you're a flirt yourself.
When the target's pretty enough.
Which I think is a nice way that he's trying to say that none of us are.
Hey, you're not my type. Sorry.
Yeah, we're too exotic. It's fine.
She kind of flicks her tail around. It's okay. I'm quite used to it.
Saren just like flies a little bit enough to hop away from the wagon.
Oh,
fine.
you're all pretty. It's not my type, okay?
It's
Really?
fine.
No
We're just,
offense.
it's fine. We're just too exotic. It's alright.
Okay.
You
I
see,
mean, that's
you
one
can
way
see
to
the
put it.
comments.
Like, it makes you sound kind of racist, to be honest. That's
No.
not what I meant.
There was no
We are
offense
not-
taken, Master Ed.
We're not offended.
Okay.
I was only poking fun.
Okay.
This is why I scold
Delicate.
her a lot.
You can't tell under all these layers of fur, but I'm a delicate soul.
Do you
But
want
a
to hug?
hot-house flower out in these snows.
But a strong body, obviously.
Strong and sturdy like an ox, made of glass. And a warm, soft, melty
Ed-
interior that if you get too close to the fire...
Please. Okay, as a player, please tell me you have a picture of this character.
I do not. I am making this up
Oh
always.
my god.
Legit, I'm saying if any of you read the manga Dungeoneering Dining, I'm thinking of the helmet dwarf dude. Is what I'm
I'm legitimately making this guy up off the top of my
I love
head
it.
right now. But I
Ed-
love him already.
Ed, do you need a hug?
I mean, if you wouldn't mind.
Sokora will give him a very motherly hug.
And he like snuggles into it, and not like in a creepy way.
But like
He
a
just sort
baby
of like-
way. Like,
Not
oh.
in a baby way, just like, oh yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
he-
since I've been held by a woman. Or anyone, really.
And then
Except
Ed
for
will feel RK like climb up his back and like try to nuzzle him.
Aw,
What's
see?
that?
The
The dragon.
Don't look so scared, Ed.
It's okay.
There's a
It's a dragon.
mighty dragon.
Good answer.
And it's going to grow into
Mhm.
such a fearsome, noble beast.
Perfect.
Exactly.
You understand, Ed.
I understand so much.
Just think the stories that you can tell later when you say that you've met a dragon.
Stories you
Not sure which one
probably
they will
keep.
believe less, the dragon or the hugged by a woman.
I feel like
An
the
extremely
dragon
pretty
is more
woman.
alive.
Oh, thank you.
You smell nice.
Thank you. It's the shampoo. I have a lot
What's
of
that?
hair. Perfume. To make you smell nice, specifically made for hair. She kind of flicks her tail around.
He doesn't smell bad, by the way. I'm
No,
just
no,
gonna
no,
throw that
no.
out there. It's just obviously he has a different grooming
Mhm.
Obviously.
That's when Kana pipes up. Glad you like my perfume.
I said shampoo.
Well, you like that too.
I have my own grooming kit. Thank you very much.
No, I've seen you sneak into my grooming kit a few times.
Just
Only
a,
because
like,
your bottle's so
scalp of a
shiny.
man in the midst of this, just like cuddled.
It's okay. She'll pat his head.
This is the nicest travel I've ever been. You're gonna want to make a left.
Oh, of
Kana, are
course.
you minding the horse?
Yes.
Okay, make it turn left, please.
Yeah, I am making it turn left since the horse likes me more.
Still a little
Oh,
jealous about
handling.
that. A little jealous about that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
animal
when
handling.
Kana just.
It's a new
types
day. I
like,
forgot. I should have made you
"You're
roll for it yesterday, but I'm gonna hand wave that. But you gotta roll it for today.
God.
Good
Please
luck,
get it.
Spuffy.
Please do
Yeah,
well.
it's not a like universal. This lasts forever. It's
Please do well so none of us have to try to save it.
Saki and Ed just in the back of this raging wagon.
18.
Yeah. You're so good at horse.
I'm very good with the horse.
And she's good at hug.
Little more jealous.
And just
Big jealous.
It's
Maybe
alright,
you
I'm
do
bad
better
with animals
with
too.
smaller animals. Maybe you do better with smaller animals.
I will kill them with
Dinosaur.
sweetness. I'm feeding this horse a carrot every night and an apple just to be extra sweet so that it likes me more. Hopefully there will be dividends paid eventually.
I think
Try
we're
hugging
never.
it.
Yes! She pets it and brushes it and grooms it and everything. She's
Or have
super
you hugged it?
nice. Yes!
Okay. Because it's working wonders on me. I am very well handled now. Not like in a weird way.
I
Yeah,
think whenever
of
Kura-
course not.
Whenever Kura talks about under her breath about how she's gonna keep gonna try to charm the horse, that's when Ami's like, she sure likes talking to herself a lot.
Yeah, it
That Ami
happens.
thinks that Saki's a little weird.
Yeah, exactly.
But
What do you think about that,
trust
okay?
me, you get used to it after a while. She does it with me around too.
That's because I'm trying to control my temper when you're around.
Love to see your temper.
Oh, I'm sure you'll see it one day. One day when she gets into
Like
trouble and I have to bail her out and then I have to yell at her. You'll see.
Oh, you don't always have to bail me out. There has been a few times where I've been able to get myself out of trouble.
Yes, and you've come home with a black eye, a busted lip, and a broken nose.
It was so fun.
I give up. I give up.
Happily navigates you from this cozy, cuddly position. He's just like, yeah, man, I'm. It's one of those. He's not gonna make you stay, but he's not gonna be the one to initiate the let go.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
I can tell, I'm pretty sure, that he is just starving for a mother's love.
He's
We'll-
touch starved.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, we've only been in a pandemic for like a year. This man has been out in the wilderness by choice for
A long
time.
Yeah.
Time.
So she's gonna, he's kind enough to lead us, and this seems like a bit better way to pay for his kindness by returning some of my own. I'll stay with him for a little while and let him, soak up the feeling, because it will probably be a very, very long time before he gets another hug, and that makes her sad inside. So she'll let him get all the hugs he needs. Because I am a sap.
Yeah, you are. But he navigates you, and a couple hours go by, and he regales you guys with stories of a couple of the furs. There's nothing particularly exciting.
Mm.
Though he does tell a story of one time when he did manage to get a tatzelworm skin.
What is a
Which
tatzel?
is a local beast that he warns you about.
Mm.
Because they appear down these ways sometimes.
Can I roll for that to see if I know any more information?
Yes, a knowledge nature is what you're looking for, I believe.
I would also like to roll that, I think.
Do
I
it,
got it.
friend.
I would not like to roll for that, and I will just ask Ed to
Damn, sure.
explain what it is and the
actually,
best way to deal with
It
them.
is an arcana, my
Oh,
apologies.
okay. Well,
It's
I have
the
really high
same.
that too.
It's the same
Yeah,
number modifier. So I got an 11 and Kay got a 24.
mine is also the same modifier, so I can just use that.
Okay.
Would like to keep my 24.
Yeah, I mean, you're not you think you might have heard a story once or something? It's just not.
Maybe
No.
Yeah, I think maybe RK might have eaten one before.
No, definitely not. But Saren, actually, you're actually legitimately impressed by this story. because you know what a tatzelworm is. You know it as a medium-sized dragon. So, dragon size of, the large dog or something. Generally about 6 feet in length, from snout to tail tip. And they're pretty nasty. They're very good at hiding in like foliage and stuff. You've heard rumor that they've got like poison or something, and that they got nasty claws, and they're just vicious and territorial. They're related to dragons though in the same way that like birds are related to dinosaurs. It's very much a branch off.
Yeah.
They're not considered true dragons, but they're still technically considered dragons.
That's what I have to give Ami.
But yeah, they're pretty
I think when Ed says that, like that he had a skin. He said he got a skin once.
Yeah, that was like his greatest. That was his like really big bass he caught.
Did you face it intentionally, or did you trap it, or? I have to admit, I am quite surprised.
They're clever. I managed to take one by surprise. Another hunter had set up a nasty trap, and it stumbled in. I can only assume it was probably injured beforehand. If anyone asks, it was a mighty noble battle against a very healthy and magnificent beast.
Of course, I would only tell your story with the greatest care, Ed.
Good on you.
Any advice if we should meet one of them on our own?
Don't. That's probably the best advice. If you have to, for some reason, such as less you meet it and more it decides to meet you, I've heard. I mean, I know they're smart. They're scary smart. I don't know. Talking to it would do a damn thing, but I certainly couldn't talk to it. I know those, Brevik people and stuff. No offense if you guys are, but other than the draconic and stuff, you might try it. It's as likely as anything to work at that point, because once it decides that your lunch,
Well, I mean,
your lunch.
Ami is good with dragons, and Kana is good with animals. And
Yeah, they haven't been
her
seen
and
for a
I
while.
are great at.
That was our last major sighting. And this time of year, you wouldn't see them anyway. That wouldn't be till like spring. So, you got some time.
Good to know. So we don't have to worry, Sakura.
Nah. They don't.
It is always better to be prepared, though, and
Quite.
better to always get the information from someone who has first-hand in fighting one to see what is the best course of action to also achieve a victory. It's only prudent. Oh no.
Territorial. So just don't go in its territory and you'll probably be fine.
Oh.
Or get out of its territory. Quickly. Kind of like most things. You go in its room, it's like, get off my grill, bro. And you're like, okay. And you do. Or you don't. You probably don't. You seem like the type that don't. He says to Kana.
So, Kana, please don't pick fights with any dragon-like creatures. Shinobi, what are you doing? All I saw was in my screen.
The tail behind your head.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Panic.
We all talk to animals. It's no big deal.
But yeah, a couple hours on, so it's mid to late afternoon by the time you'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
So 2-3 o'clock, probably 3, we'll say. When you see the trading post come into view, and it's kind of up on like a hill. It's got like a wooden palisade around it, all solid logs. And you can see that, yeah, this was like it makes sense that this was an abandoned fort. Like, it looks, fort-y. Fort-esque. There we go. That sounds less weird somehow. But there's only one entrance that you can see. Which is like a 30-foot wooden gate. And at the moment, that's pretty much all you can see. At each corner, there do appear to be some sort of, probably watchtowers, maybe? And there does seem to be some sort of mechanical thing on top, but from this distance and the height, because you're coming from, you're looking up at it, it's a little harder to see what those are. But I mean, it does look imposing, at least. And that there is the trading post.
Well, thank you for leading us. I'm sure we probably would have taken longer to get here without your help.
Oh. So. It's the better. But. Yeah. And I know they'll be real happy to see y'all.
I take it there's not much trading going on very often during the...
Not lately, not with the bandits.
Has it only been just bandits, or have you heard anything else out there in the woods?
I mean, I'm sure there are other things, but the bandits are our biggest problem right now.
Ami looks a little disappointed at that.
I mean, maybe they scare off anything more interesting.
Well, they're scared of mere humans, and they're not interesting enough for me.
And you haven't heard of the stag.
The what now?
Stag Lord. That's the bandit chief that likes to say he rules these lands.
Well, hopefully we'll never have to have a word with him, and if so, hopefully it will be polite words.
Oh, I hope we do.
I think I would quite like to meet him as well.
I don't think
That's
it
something that I would love to use on this stag lord.
Kana, no flirting.
Oh, this isn't flirting, my dear sister.
Her flirting always sound like the same thing.
It does.
Because I have to admit, I'm scared and a little looking at her very respectfully right now.
Oh,
Is
yes,
that
the
weird?
very reaction I wanted for this character.
Is that weird? I feel like that.
No. I think that's common.
Okay.
You know, sister, you're not going to stop me from using my Tetsubo. The stag lord decides to, shall we say, start the fight?
Well, hopefully we won't get to that point. That's all I'm saying. If we
Do you need help?
are...
Do you need help off the wagon?
This, and he like scoots on his butt. He does like this little like 3 bounce.
Boing,
Pops
boing.
off. He's clearly pretty used to getting off things that are not made for his height.
Right, yeah. No, I was just being nice.
And while you guys are talking, he's trundling up to the gate. Oleg! Oleg!
Ah!
I wonder if there's a
You
counselor.
hear from the other side. They're like yelling at each other, which I'm not gonna do because it hurts my voice, but you know, hey,
Yeah.
visitors! Huh? Visitors!
I see his vocabulary is very versatile.
Gets the point across.
I suppose.
Come on in. And he trundles into the gate.
I think I pick up Arcade to hold them and, yeah, go up ahead because I'm very curious. Like, oh, new people, new location. So many things to listen into.
For this, you guys.
Sakura will get off the back of the wagon and try to lead the horse into town.
Let me put on, because it is daytime. Let me fix that for y'all real quick. It is daytime.
Daytime!
Refresh, 'cause I can see a
Nighttime!
black screen.
What was that?
I said, my dear sister, you don't. Do you need me to take over for the horse?
Yeah, I'm going to try to lead the horse in the few feet that it takes to enter the fort.
Now you are moved appropriately. Just inside the gate.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to see, just because everything's closed. All of those big black squares, because thank you, Roll20, for not making it super obvious. I'll try to make it more obvious in the future. Are all additional buildings that are inside here. You can't tell what those buildings are.
It's just showing up as
Because
a
they're
black
closed.
square right now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
all
a big
black.
black line.
Oh boy, did not.
Make sure you zoom. Make sure you
did.
zoom out.
I did.
Yeah, it's all black. Sometimes Roll20 does this with.
Yeah, because I have daylight mode on, so y'all should be good. Heck with it. I'm not gonna mess with it right now.
Oh, wait.
There we go. Now
There
it
it
shows.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Wow.
You wouldn't
Silly
let me do.
Roll20.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, you're gonna be able to see in those buildings right now because they updated dynamic lighting recently, so it works differently now. So now you can see inside the building, so that's okay. There's nothing in here you're not allowed to see. But
That's all.
from within these confines.
Roll20, stop freaking out, please.
I know, right? But I just forgot I don't have tokens for them. Anyway, but nonetheless, this is Oleg's trading post. Welcome to it. You've made it. The open area you guys are in right now is the market yard. It's where people bring in wagons stuff when, they do have them. There's some sort of small house off to your right, but you don't know what's in it. So I'm not going to explain right now. You can hear a horse inside the building off to your left that looks like a stable, because it is. But you can hear a horse within there. There's another building, the small one, up north of you, which is where your friend Ed is headed to offload his goods. It's fenced in. It just has a wooden roof to kind of keep off the rain and snow and such. So it appears to be some sort of storage. But you can see, except for the furs that Ed is now putting in it, it is empty.
Okay.
Behind that are composting pits and middens. And then the primary big building there at the top right is a big, just, looks like a house, honestly. And already you can see that Oleg is up on the roof of the main house. Or at least who you assume is Oleg, given the fact that Ed says, hey, they're here! And he says, So you assume that's probably Oleg. But, and he looks like a older guy. He's got like a bandana on his head to keep the sweat and everything. He's bundled up, even so, but he's got his like sleeves rolled up as he's working up there. And he starts climbing down. But bustling from the main house, you see a fairly pretty, if plain, woman. With kind of strawberry blonde hair, nice smattering of freckles. And she says, as she's coming out, she's got some tankards and like a big pot that she's guiding to the table there. Would it kill you to have a little more tact, dear? I'm so sorry about him. He just doesn't know how to act around gifts. Please, yeah, come in.
Thank
and she's
you.
setting up tankards and the pot. We don't have much, but we're happy to share whatever we have.
That's very much obliged. Thank you for letting us through. And would it be alright if we stayed the night since it is so late?
Assumed you would.
Well, one doesn't want to assume too much.
I mean, it's the least we can do for all your help. And she uncorks a fairly cheap, you can tell it's very much the country wine. But she uncorks some and starts pouring it into the tankards for you guys.
Tukana doesn't matter to her.
I think Senator will pick it up and kind of give a cheers to their host and take a
Yeah.
sip.
Kana will do the same, but like take a larger
So Korok will kind of bow her head to Lana. We'll call her Lana. But
Just call her Lana. Yeah.
she'll head over to take the horse into the stable to stable it first, get it in out of the cold, and make sure that it has some food to eat. And
Yeah. There's like a water trough in there. You see one other horse in there. It's a little older. You can tell it's got some like silver and gray in its muzzle.
old.
It seems jittery. It just seems antsy.
after
The horse is like chilling. It's like kind of shifting to that side.
after she stables our own horse, which I'll figure out a name by next time. I should have done that by now, but
Thought it was Jake.
I mean, we could name it Jake or
We're
Yuri.
gonna call it Yuri.
Or are we calling it Yuri the horse?
Oh my gosh.
We'll call it
Please, can
Yuri.
we call it Yuri?
Yes. I'm gonna text him that.
We'll call him Yuri, and
That's fun.
she'll feed it the apple and carrot that she's been given every day, and then we'll come over and pet the other horse and offer it a carrot, see if it takes it.
Let's roll. You do have to roll, but it's a diplomacy for this one because you're offering something.
You said
Tasty.
diplomacy.
Yeah. The only thing better would be cube. Cube.
Oh, a sugar cube, yeah.
A cube. Yeah, 22. It still seems a little antsy, but it's kind of like it sniffs it, backs up, sniffs it again. Kind of does that horse nostril flare thing at you, and then like pulls its lips back and very gently like takes the very barest tip of the carrot. It's like. It is the most delicate you've ever seen a horse do anything ever.
I hope you enjoy it. She'll chuckle and just kind of pet its muzzle again before heading out to get some food and something good to drink. And hopefully warm up a little bit.
Yeah, Svetlana, while you're in there, put some more firewood on the fire, so it's nice and it's nice little like fire pit, campfire style.
Yeah.
So nice and cozy. And she's gone in and she comes out with a couple loaves of, and you can see this bread is still steaming as she brings it out. Partly because it's fucking cold, but also because they're fresh. And she places those down for the lot of you.
Your sense of timing is very good, Svetlana. Did you expect Ed today?
I mean, any day now, but we're just so happy our letter got through.
Your letter.
I received many letters. Which letter would be this?
Are you not the people from Resta?
We
From
came.
restaurant?
We came from New Steven, didn't we?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
but
did.
my
Oh.
character is actually from Rostov.
Sorry,
Yeah.
maybe there's been a little confusion, but please enlighten us.
Yeah, of course. Well, we've been having some, I'm sure Ed talked about it, chatterbox. And he's like on the other end of the table, like shoveling stew in his mouth. He's like,
I mean, he's a pretty good talker when he's in my sister's arms.
you got hugged by a woman?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen everything.
I mean, he insulted us first, and I say that with like a wink. To like,
Oh, that makes sense then. It was more of an apology thing.
I'm gonna die.
Just don't ever drink, Kay. That's all.
I know. I tried to time it, but okay.
Just do it during break. That's the only good time.
Just take a good gulp of it during break.
Well, not sure you heard, but he probably told you there's a bit of bandit trouble down here, and well, we're the only trading post where everybody brings all their trade goods, and well, they come and take it.
Oh,
I guess it's these staghorn people, correct?
Stag Lord, yeah. Him and his ilk. They're
I mean, you
nasty
set up a
lot.
trading post in the middle of nowhere, which yes is good for business, but wouldn't it have made more sense than to focus on more defense?
We're doing our best. We got the palisade up. I mean, you didn't see what this place was like when we got here. To be fair, the walls used to be practically nothing but sawdust from all the weather damage, and we're gonna start working on those catapults any day now. And you actually look at the watchtowers, and the things you couldn't see before are broken down catapults on each tower.
How
Are they
often?
catapults or trebuchets?
Catapults.
How often do they raid you, or is it just them attacking your supply chain?
Take anything they can get at any time, but they do come here pretty regular. We're actually supposed to see them in 2 days. And besides what Ed's brought us, we don't have much to give them this time. Again, what we could last time, they even took my wedding ring. We don't have much less to give.
They're at.
Sakura kind of tenses hearing that they stole a wedding ring.
And you can see she's like absolutely rubbing, and there's like, even though it's winter and stuff, you can see like she's a farm wife, you know, she's got, and there is a pale band where a ring should be. That's just nothing there.
Well, lucky for you, even though unfortunately we are not the receivers of your letter. We do need to help with the bandits in this area anyways, do we not?
Yes, we are allowed to take care of them if they get in our way. And it seems that they're going to be in our way.
Them coming here could be in the way.
It would help us in the long run with making sure that restorations or our responsibilities are taken care of more easily.
Plus, this is a well-known bandit leader, right? So we could make a
very.
name for ourselves from the beginning. If we're to take over, you know.
We'd be happy to offer whatever help we can. You can. And she points at the building that's bottom right. She's like, "That's just our guest house, but we'd be happy to put you up for any amount of time you need. It's the least we could do."
Is your guest house dragon-proof?
I'm pretty sure that Akre will be just fine. He seemed accommodable within normal housing when we were within the city.
Yes, but we do like the outdoors a little bit more.
Well, there's
Yeah,
plenty of outdoors
actually.
around.
But it's cold now. And I need my snuggle buddy. And then you'd see, like, they would see, Svetlana would see RK, like, pop out, like, from wherever she was
And
holding.
you see her kind of like start for a second, like, oh, is that your dragon friend?
Yes.
Oh, I think we can make accommodations very comfortable for such a noble creature.
See, you're noble. These people out here are much nicer than the ones in the city. We should have trekked out. Yes, you're right, RK. We should have trekked out long before this.
Well, if there is something that we could do to help, I would like to at least attempt. Does this Stag Lord, does he come himself?
Oh no, it's just his brutes.
Oh,
About how many
How
normally
disappointing.
comes?
Well, last time they came, there was 5, I believe, maybe 6. I'm not sure if one stood outside to keep watch, but only 5 came in.
that seems pretty easy to take care of.
Not
I mean, it was
unmanageable, but we will have to be careful.
Yes,
certainly more than the 2 of us could do. I'm afraid Oleg isn't not a warhorse like he used to be.
But the concern, I suppose, is that even if we do help with 5 or 6 brutes, they will certainly send more.
Then we'll just be here ready for them.
Oh,
Why not?
we could just prepare for this upcoming thing, and we'll let one of them go and lick their behinds. Is that the right turn of phrase?
It's
Well,
licking
I
their
wouldn't-
wounds, and I wouldn't want to.
But then we could follow them to their leader. RK can be a rather good oh god, what something hound.
But
Bloodhound?
Bloodhound.
Yes, bloodhound, yeah. Can be a rather good bloodhound sometimes.
But it also would just be more fun to just wean him out of his hiding.
Yes, going into the lair of some leader is probably not
The best
safest
idea.
option.
Ami just frowns at that, like, no, that seems more fun.
It may be. I like your thinking. It may be more fun, but it's also more reckless.
I would like to try to reason with them first before we do anything.
From something.
They've
This
already
is the-
stolen so much from Oleg and Svetlana. And Ed.
No, that's a great plan. Distract with diplomacy, and then, and I would like to roll, even though I don't have a good roll for it. I think engineering to see if I could, like, maybe in the next 2 days, form some sort of, like, contraption out of the
Oh,
catapult.
catapults.
Yes.
Okay, so and that's engineering, right?
Yes, knowledge
Okay.
engineering. That's my
Oh,
favorite part of the
God.
game is when you guys come up with just random shit. 8?
Yeah.
Oh,
you know
no.
catapults are made of wood? You know what you could do? It has wheels. You could set it on fire and roll it down the hill.
I mean,
I'll suggest that. Yeah.
Because
you're
setting,
gonna, wait, you're
setting
going to
a large
suggest
wooden,
that to the group?
Yes.
setting a large wooden structure on fire inside of a large wooden structure covered with flammable things and hay
I
is a
think,
great idea.
I think
No,
Sarah's
Ami, no. That would not be a very
Sarah's
good
gonna
idea.
Sarah's gonna, like, stand up and kind of look side to side trying to see the catapult better. Maybe even, like, fly up just a tiny bit just to get, like, the little look. She's very short. And I think I should also roll that, because she's gonna try to help out. She is down for this disaster plan.
No, guys.
I actually have skill points in this, so there's a chance.
Oh no.
Fingers crossed. Okay, I got a 20. So I want to improve Ami's plan. I don't want to erase the fire idea, but maybe make it more manageable.
So, okay, so I'm gonna interpret slightly here because Jesus fucking Christ.
See,
Yeah.
I'm trying not to meta because I know how the video game offers the idea. So I'm like, let me try something different.
So yes, if you could somehow get the catapult off the watchtower, which would be a feat in and of itself, you could theoretically set it on fire and roll it down the hill, but it is something that would be noticeable. Now, alternatively, they have seen the catapult, so they know they exist already, so there's no use really in hiding them. They would notice if one was missing.
Yep. But they also know that they're not worth being ordered.
But looking at the damage that you can see, it is not irreparable, and you might be able to find the tools to do so even around here in the time you have. And while maybe not set the catapult on fire, you might be able to set the ammunition on fire and just throw fire at them instead.
No, that is a more better and fun idea.
Now, it is still a wooden structure that you are adding fire and flammable to, so there is a chance that could still go horribly wrong.
Okay.
But you did say you wanted to include fire in the plan. So this at least would be less likely to go catastrophically wrong in a way that would not benefit your party.
Oh, never mind. Let me look.
Alternatively, if you wanted to set something on fire and still roll it out the gate, there is a wagon that is not yours in the middle of the main area, which is also loaded with things. You could theoretically set that on fire, like hay or something on fire inside of it, and it would not be as noticeable because it's much shorter. And then basically throw open the gates and roll it at them. They might still be able to dodge it, but that one has less chance of going catastrophically wrong. You just have to convince Oleg and Svetlana to let you turn their wagon into a flaming vehicle.
Yeah. Question. Alternatively, and I know I'm interpreting the rules because I can, since I don't know.
I'm willing to hear you out.
So I have elemental assault, which means my arms can turn into any element I want. So if I turn my arms into acid and I touch what we're going to catapult and make it acid instead of fire. Or is that too much of it? And that's fine if it's too much of a stretch.
I think too much of a stretch.
Okay, no problem.
But we're about to wrap up session, and I will double check between this session and next to double check.
Yeah, no problem.
But for now, I'm gonna say it's too much.
So maybe I think Saren like gets into Ami's idea, and they're probably going back and forth about this, and the other two are probably just kind of like
acid.
Yeah.
No, Kanna's got a big grin on her face as she's brainstorming this. She's enjoying.
And Svetlana's just hearing, "What if we set it on fire? What if we set it on acid fire?" And she's just like, "I don't know." You see her face. Like,
So Cora will gently lay a hand on her shoulder before clearing her throat very loudly.
and you hear Ed from the end of the table. "Uh-oh, Mom's gonna talk."
Friends never know.
It's fine. I've heard this. I've heard this shebang.
Watch out, the
before.
wrath of Hug Mom.
Yeah, that's when Kanna just starts to zone out.
If Sakura notices it, she's gonna kind of grab her by the ear and tug. Not like really hard, but like that, listen to me before I smack you and it really hurts.
So she starts to try to like turn her head and poke her with her horn.
Must we first resort to violence?
They've already. It's mostly going to resort to violence anyway, my dear sweet sister.
But we are better than them.
Even if we follow your idea and talk to them,
It's so
is it not a good idea to have a plan?
Maybe not one that would be so destructive. I wouldn't mind going out and getting the lay of the land around here. see what good vantage points are, get supplies and weapons ready, and a plan of attack. But
well, that's what we're doing.
no, you're talking about setting things on fire and rolling them down the hills.
From what I've been listening, we're actually going to get the catapult up and working and just setting the ammo on fire or acid, whichever one.
Which, getting the catapults up and running is a very good idea to show the force that we are well defended. However, I still think that a more practical and sound plan should also be discussed. I also am not quite fond of the thought of that if this does degrade into a brawl and a fight, that we must kill first and not entrap, imprison, make them see justice.
Who is going to show them justice here? We can't transport them back to where we came from. This is justice in these parts. Vellara, am I incorrect?
Some sort. Yeah, no.
That's okay.
I just don't want our first course of action to be violence and death as the only option. I understand that it might not be as easy to do with some and others, but if we are to build something out here in the middle of nowhere, I would not have it built on bloody hands.
Well, it wouldn't be bloody hands. It would be showing that we're a force to not be messed with.
Your hands are already bloody. They don't ever go away. You know that, right?
Oh, yes.
I just wish the poor RK had learned how to do fire breathing. I know, eventually. And then we could have just catapulted RK. I mean, we still can. He has a good set of chompers.
I would not wish to harm your friend in throwing him into the midst of battle.
But that's what we've been training for years now.
His little roundness does not seem combat ready.
It's armor.
Okay. They don't mean it. Yes, armor.
But really, as I have with my familiar, you must keep them safe. So I've been told. Anyways, Sakura, I do understand, but I think that perhaps we all need some rest before we decide our course of action. Regardless, tomorrow is good for staking out the area and seeing if there are any tools about that may aid us in our endeavor, and I think she'll like wink at Ami, to fix things.
And that's when Kana like pulls out her like Tetsugo and just kinda like holds it.
Dreaming of fighting.
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever y'all come up with, I support it.
Don't worry. One way or another, we'll take care of this. But this is really delicious. And then, like, finally remembering the food, like, starts like shoveling it into their mouth. Remembering, yes, eating is a good thing.
I think with that, since we started a little late, we're ending just a little bit late.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good place to wrap up our session for the evening, ladies.
Yes.
Ooh. Welcome to Kingmaker.
Yay, we didn't die!
We didn't die in the first session! Jake already lost the bet!
Yes!
Wow!
Get fucked job, Jake.
Yeah. Get wrecked.
Get wrecked, Jake. The rogue has survived session 1.
Oh my
And
goodness.
If you
also we
survive,
need
if
more
you survive the
after
entirety of book
you.
1 and into book 2, you've survived longer than his rogue.
Oh,
He
that's
died
gonna
in the
happen.
downtime between books 1 and 2.
That's gonna happen though. She's my big older sister is going to survive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my very best.
The best kind of cautious. I like it.
You got your baby sister to have your back. Come on.
No, because
I'm sure this is.
I
all
have to
revealed
have
suddenly.
the bad guy's back so I can go stabby stabby.
Yeah, but
Let's play plans. But with that, we can chat amongst ourselves once stream is over. But with that, thank you for anyone who has come in, who has stuck with us for this whole whatever this was.
And if you
Like
got
my
hungry,
influence.
blame Pop-Tart.
Yes.
yeah, Pop
Valid.
If you're hungry, blame Pop Tart and then get your revenge by eating a Pop Tart.
I mean,
Actually, I
valid.
still have some strawberry Pop-Tarts. I should do that.
Nice.
Ooh, eat
That is
my flaky brethren.
No, cannibalism. We're not
Yeah.
doing
Damn it! But tonight's special word is
that.
cannibalism.
Cannibalism.
But, I look forward to seeing where our intrepid adventurers manage to get to, how many things they set on fire, and how many people that affects. So I suppose we'll see that next week, same time, same place. And
That
as always,
thanks for playing.
thanks for playing.
The time
Well,
though that is at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
At least we'll
Yep.
try to.
Oh, we should have
5 p.m. West Coast time.
Hopefully we won't have such an issue next time because everything is now set up. So
Yep. So once
That's
again,
what OBS likes you to believe.
once
That
again,
I have
want to
learned.
endorse your wink, but thanks for playing.
yes.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. RK says bye.
We should get mascots.
Good idea.
Grabs cat.
I've got